But I'm not scared of being the competition any more than you were when you lined up across from a superior team. Yeah, on paper, they're a better team.
Right.
They have all the assets and resources and we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't.
Wow.
Keep it going. Some privilege and a blowing. Hold it down for the Bay, reppin' Oakland.
It's all a fugazi.
And you know the difference between me reading your papers now and me reading your papers 10 years ago is that now I know when I read it. 10 years ago, I didn't know when I read it.
This is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not fucking real. Right? All right?
It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies.
Carrying a school bag on stage. What are you doing with a school bag on stage? You can't even read.
No, you ain't the champ. Hey, listen, don't make me embarrass you. How you gonna do this? Embarrassing. How you gonna do the champ? You go fight more than 4,000 people live. More people in training.
40 years old carrying a school bag. The man doesn't even fucking read.
And Dad tried to teach me of my brothers. Never try to be better than someone else. Always learn from others. And never cease trying to be the best you could be. That's under your control. I coined my own definition of success, which is peace of mind, attained only through self-satisfaction and knowing you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable.
What do you both think about fear?
I'm not in this world to live up to your expectations. I'm here to live up to mine.
He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life.
Fear is a teacher.
And I don't skip class.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
Hey now, say now. Hey now, say now. Hey now, say now.
Hey now. Hey now to you. Yeah. Hey now. Hey now. Hey now.
Did I just nail the grail?
You just hit the grail.
Did I just nail the grail? Hey now, say now.
Hey now, say now. Hey now. All right. I like the intro. Good to see everybody. Tuesday. We got plenty to cover. Plenty to cover. It's early. We're just starting. There's 60 people in the room. Amazing. Good to see everybody. Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm going to go again next week. And I haven't taken a Tuesday, Wednesday off. I'm going to be traveling to California to see my sister, my brother-in-law, my mom, brother, and then my baby niece is like a year and a half. So she's starting to have some personality. She could walk. I haven't seen her since July, her 1-year birthday. So I'm excited to take that trip. So we'll do next week. And then the following week, we'll take a break for the holidays. But today, I'm going to open with the PSA story. Have to. Everyone was making videos on it. Everyone's talking about it. You know, I'll do it on the live. I don't want to make a separate video on it, but we'll definitely get into some of it. I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but definitely have some takes probably you haven't heard or you might not hear otherwise. I want to rapid fire a few stories. We'll do Griffey Watch. My hope is at 5:30, we get some rapid calls, maybe 3 callers. We do 3 minutes each, maybe put a couple of you on the board at the same time, but at 5:30, so in a half hour, the hope, and we'll see how that goes. My first time kind of trying that, but let's try to get 2, 3, 4 callers all in a back-to-back couple minutes. Bring what you want to say, maybe about the PSA story, about anything else. Say hello to the chat, say hello to the viewers. Anyways, at 5:30, we'll do that for like 10, 15 minutes if it works out. I got voicemails, and then at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. to however long Trike will stay, we'll talk with Trike Sports Cards. And then tomorrow, really happy with the 3 guests, because AIH kills it every time. I'm thankful he's willing to come on Wednesdays. He does a great job. I really enjoy when he comes on. And tomorrow he has something you just don't hear about other places. He wants to go to. I'm not going to spoil it. Tune in tomorrow for AIH. He has another, story he wants to bring that he feels like not enough people are talking about, or maybe you've never even heard about. Scotty B will start the show tomorrow. And then today we have Trike Sports Cards. So a really good lineup. But we have to start with PSA. And of course, Jesus. Why double down? He's in business. He's in bed with PSA. I think he's opening from what Charles said. I've seen some other stuff. I saw his launch of in partnership with they're going to have a PSA drop off at Sports Cards HQ. So I mean, God forbid he says anything bad or is critical or uses a logical brain here. And I'm sure you've read this by now. Do you really believe that $1 billion company PSA would endanger their whole business by skimming a few bucks, changing grades on cheap Pokemon cards they bought back? No way, I don't buy it. The juice spin will be what scores. So he's directing the narrative down one. By the way, he's live right now. Don't jump over. We'll go do some holiday giveaway, $1,000 giveaway. Let's match his numbers. Where are his numbers going to be? I'm going to guess when we tune into his channel in about 20 minutes, I don't know, they'll be under 350 people. That's a bold guess, but under 350. So we saw what he had to say. So I think I have a 2-minute video that I really like that breaks down the whole story. I think we all know the whole story by now. I think it's also kind of important just to catch everyone up in case not. So let's watch just a little bit of it to catch everyone up. And then I have plenty of stuff to say about it, but let's just catch everyone up. Let the room fill a little bit. Hey now.
It just got caught in one of the biggest grading scandals we have ever seen, guys. This story is crazy. A grader submitted 30 Pikachu and Zekrom tag team cards, expecting to get maybe 10 or 12 just PSA 10s. It seems like a pretty good ratio, about 30% of them and a PSA 10, if they were all clean and near mint, of course. Well, every single one of them got a PSA 9, which is not the bad part of the story. He then went and used PSA's new buyback program. For those who don't grade a lot, basically what it is that, if your card comes back a PSA 8, 9, 10, PSA is going to throw you a fair offer. Usually it's around 80, 90%. So on the PSA 9s, he got a $35 offer, which is a huge loss for him, seeing as though he graded 30 of them, let's say $20 per card. What is that, like $1,000 in grading fee? And that raw copy.
Excuse me. One of the viewers, I'm not going to say who, he was a bit annoyed with Neo's take on this because he kept just saying, check the search, check the search, check. It's like, first of all, not everyone watches videos or is in that world or has an idea. And second of all, when you pay $1,000 to grade some fucking cards, you shouldn't have to go back and check the certs. When you pay for a service, a premium service, they're charging up the ass. You shouldn't have to do that. Why the hell? And I'm going to get into all my opinions later. PSA does nothing special. They just happen to be the high. Everyone just pays the most for PSA, but they don't do anything another grading company doesn't do as well. They don't have a special sauce.
That card in a raw copy is $30 already. So he's already taking a massive loss, but he decided, you know what, let me just take advantage of their program, get the money back as fast as I can, and not even worry about it. He accepted his buyback offers at $35 each. PSA then went and took the same exact cert numbers and changed the cards to 10s, which is crazy. Where's the intent? As you can see, now it says offer accepted. The offer's been finalized. Money.
And now it's a 10. And you all already know the story. We've all heard the story. We've seen it everywhere. Let's watch 10 more, 30 more seconds. I'm going to break down how I feel about all of it.
He's on the way to his account. And now it says Gem Mint 10 for these tag team cards. Let's recap what just happened. 30 cards graded. All of them hit PSA 9, expecting some 10s, but unfortunately we got 9s. Takes the PSA buyback offer. Once PSA owns the card, same cert, same card, magically turns into a 10. And then PSA reaches out to him. Probably his post went viral. And it was apparently a one-off situation. We went ahead and regraded some of them as 10s and sent you the cards back and reversed the money. Don't worry. Sorry about that. This can't be a one-off situation. It ruins trust with PSA, it shakes market confidence, and it ruins their ability to grade.
And when Not Sports Card says this, he's not Sports Cards. And Pokemon, you hear this so much more when it's not the sports card community. They're so much more critical. They really want there's just more true media coverage or more true honest opinions when it comes to PSA and how they're handling things. All right, let's jump over to number one. Okay, to the hobby, mainly to Geoff, but I've heard some others. So to the hobby, let's play out some other scenarios using our brains. Number one. This is probably vote in the poll. I have this in the poll up there. Hopefully somebody don't let me forget to not end the poll. It's a shame when I've done that a couple times. All right, number one, it could have been or still is an inside job the PSA just doesn't know about. They have employees. And some people say, you know, Rocco was saying how their employees are a bit underpaid or it's hard to really work up the ladder to make good money. A current employee wants to make more than PSA wages. This seems to me pretty reasonable. The other argument to that cert, unless I already mentioned it, that the viewer mentioned, is like PSA will just change the cert. They kind of, if they're really doing this, they fucked up in keeping the same cert. But all they have to do is change the number. Number 2, PSA has insanely bad tech issues. Number 3, it's an honest mistake that will happen from time to time and looks really terrible. Number 4, quality control is lacking heavily. And number 5, it's PSA's plan to make significant revenue on a card they do this with, meaning PSA knows it's going on. It's a way they boost their revenue. So PSA, here is a big argument I had, and I made a video on this about a month and a half ago, and I've asked many people if they thought it was a conflict of interest. PSA grades cards. They did it since 1991. And so since 1991, only in the past year has their menu and everything changed. Their business model changed. They saw all this big money. They saw all the people selling, making money. They saw, oh, they could do that. Well, why aren't we getting into that business? In my comparison, it's like if you start going to McDonald's and next time you go in the drive-thru, not only do they have their menu, but they also have chow mein and they also have fried chicken. It's just too much. You're not going to do all those things well. And what the fuck? You've been doing something very successfully for a long time, and now you've decided to become something else. And so my second paragraph here is they drastically changed their business model. I feel Geoff is a pretty bit tone deaf, or more likely just making a buck, trying to continue to build his relationship and deals with PSA and whoever, and he's partnering with PSA. And at the bottom, PSA is trying something new they haven't done in 33 years of operation. There's too much room for error and greed in what they're trying to push. And I think Geoff is all sold in and bought into that money train. And this was the video I made over a month ago. PSA has too much power, and they absolutely do. I mean, these things didn't exist. I had no problem. I had no issue. Okay, PSA's a little expensive. Okay, their turnaround times kind of take a while. I had no issues with PSA, almost none. Their inconsistency with the grading, okay, they're just begging, they're teasing you to crack some cards and send them back in. But graded grails is new. This is July 24th, 2025. So right about the National, they came out with their first product. Of course, with Sports Cards HQ. All right. And then we have the PSA offers, or their buyback program. I think that's been around a year, but it's gained a lot more traction in the past 4 to 6 months. You hear a lot more people talking about it, how they can make a buck off it, how they're using, how it works, how they find it convenient, how they like it. And they're also heavily consigning cards. So they're not just a grading company like they were for 30 plus years. Now they've partnered with GameStop and Power Packs. And so when you're buying the cards, you're grading the cards, then they're not buying them, they're giving them to their network of dealers and collectors. Well, I'm sure they make a piece of that. And who the fuck is their network? Geoff is their network, and that's why he's not going to give you critical information or be critical of it or give you logical brain stuff, because he's probably a logical guy. But when it comes to this, he wants PSA. He's all in. He's all in on this stuff. We'll check out his live in a minute. Let's see. They bought SGC. WADA is one of the biggest video game. They had controversies of themselves on Heritage Auctions, but they're one of the biggest video game auction houses. They bought them. They're opening international hubs and much more. Rocco, who I interviewed, but and I talked to him several times before the interview. One of the biggest takeaways talk with him is he's like, no, PSA is doing too much. And they're not enough manpower. They could always be hiring more. And finally, PSA's maybe biting off more than they can chew. So Geoff saying, oh, I don't buy that they would do this. Well, there's 17 other factors or reasons or ways to look at it that this definitely could be happening, and in a weird way, and in a roundabout way. There was that great documentary on HBO about the McDonald's game, the Monopoly game, and it just took one dude, one high up guy that was in charge of moving these things. All right, he'd find a friend of a friend of a cousin of a sister, and he would use them, and they would split the money, or they'd figure it out. So there's always, sure, was McDonald's in on it? No. Was the Monopoly game in on it? No. Was this dude who wanted to get easy money, good money, he was in on it. And now you're starting to see more stuff like this. And it's again mainly from TCG, but here we have PSA is overheating, a grading crisis. Turnaround time slipping again. Prices going up. Quality control. Confidence is slipping. Nat Turner responded. I'm not even going to bother. It's a little blurry, and I just feel like he didn't say anything. That he's just covering his eyes, just saying what we'd expect him to say. There's really nothing here. Dan the Cardman made a video on this. He also shaved. Hilarious to see it with no beard. But anyways, this is his shitty response. At the bottom, I should mention we'll be making updates to our system. So what do you know? That's it. I don't really know. How much I add a little more on it. What else? We're done with that one. Do you really believe that a billion? How does the community? It has 700 comments to his little thing here. I hate Geoff, but I agree. He's right. They're squeezing something because they're juice from the fresh. Okay, these are terrible. Can you say someone's getting paid to say that? All right. Well, that one I don't find so terrible because I agree completely. People have sacrificed much more for way less. Whatever the hell that means. Clearly worth the squeeze until they got caught. Incoming the PSA fangirls. All right. What else we got? Oh, this is their live. What's
These give how often a type of card
comes up. Shit. 50. What? We've seen many of his lives before. I don't. That's a high number. Good for them. Holy shit. What's going on there? It's way over what I thought. A little too over.
Count. Oh, nope. How likely
you said the
word
are.
Pack.
We're going to skip that one. We're going to skip that one.
A horizontal thing that really dings you.
This is terrible. It's just me or the audio is killing my ears.
A horizontal thing. Nope. You don't want these. No, you don't want these on a card. It's like
pass. Print lines. Print line is correct. Time is up. Time is up. He did get print line under the buzzer. Give these guys a round of applause. That was a good initial showing.
He's yelling. We're yelling for no reason. At least have a reason to yell. What do we got? We got Jay right here. He's on with Jim Rome. Now, we all know Nail the Grail. We all know what happened with Jeff Wilson on there pulling the Michael Jordan rookie card. And go figure right here, presented by Arena Club. So when he goes on Jim Rome, it's to push Arena Club. It's to push the modern gambling of sports cards. And they pay well. I promise you, Arena Club is paying well. They're playing. Jim Rome can't get the good sponsors anymore, so he's going to Arena Club, which he's happy enough with. But you better believe these sports card people are thrilled with getting Jim Rome money. Thrilled. Yeah, go buy Arena Club. So stupid. All right. The complete opposite. Well, I was very selective for a long time of what sponsorship I'd want to take. And the more the chat talked about CIA, collector, investor auctions, and, Chris Sewell is one of the owners, and Jeremy, who's been on Chris's show for years, is one of the main owners or the day-to-day kind of operation guy. And so we had a good talk yesterday. And so anyways, I want to thank them. They are officially a sponsor of Professor Sports Cards. Ain't that the shit? Hey now! That's really cool. First sponsor. And I believe in the company. I believe in the owners. And I'm excited about it. So anyways, there it is. Hell yes. What do we need to play for this? I got to play something. Wow, what a great audience. Not that. I need something to pump me up.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
From Tokyo. All right. So there they are, Chris and Jeremy. Let me do this real quick. Just go. I haven't done over a ton, but they're, this is a family man, and he's giving me his email to share to you guys. He said, giving me his phone number. I'm like, maybe we don't want to give him out the phone number. But it's a smaller company. They've only been around a year and a half. That's what I wanted to share at the top. It was founded in 2023, but they didn't become a company or launched until spring of 2024. They didn't launch until spring of 2024. So anyways, this is they have some big cards here. Now it trends, it looks like vintage. And I know he's looking for consigners. That was one of the main main things they're looking for. But Midlife Sports Cards did a video. Here's a Tris speaker, and someone found their godfather's collection, or their godfather had a huge collection and it was time to sell it. And so this is the huge collection, and it is on CIA auctions or collector investor auctions. And here, some of the cards, if you want to watch the video, it really is Jack Dempsey. It really is a cool collection. Again, it trends vintage. Pep Young, not quite sure of that name. And then our good old boy, Greg. Hoping to have lunch with Greg. I fly, where I'm traveling is to Northern California, the Bay, where my sister lives. And I'm hoping Greg wants to come out. We're about a half hour away from each other when I'm there. So he wants to come have lunch. That would be fun to have lunch. So anyways, that's really neat. Official sponsor. I'm excited about it. So more to come. I'd love to have Jeremy on, the owner, and he could tell you a lot more about it. And but check it out. I know he's looking for some consigners as well. And you can see it. He said he's very happy with the growth over the year and a half. And they're just good people. And there's a lot of bullshit with other auction houses right now. So I am proud to get in kind of on the ground floor and be able to represent the company. Hell yes. All right. So I'm not even over there. What is so Professor is sponsored by CIA. Damn straight. Proud of it. I am looking for a hockey segment caller. I know it's so interesting. First of all, Canada has a healthy amount. I'm not just saying hockey people are from Canada, but it's interesting the percentage of people you hear from Canada in sports cards. It skews a little higher than you'd expect, when you see all the American. Anyways, it's interesting. Canada sports cards, hockey's the big one. Basketball's up there. But I definitely I'd love to get a hockey person on for 5 minutes once a week, either on Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe 10 minutes, give us a rundown, the drama, the not drama, the set, the player. But I know there's some viewers out there it should be quick and to the point and fun. But I would love to give I'd like to get a hockey segment caller. What else we got here? This is interesting. I'm sure you've also seen this by now. Netflix buys Warner Brothers for $82 billion, and now there's Paramount making $108 billion counteroffer. So who the hell? Damn, man, that's a lot of money. Our boy Shang Tsung died, 75 years old. It's a pretty good life. Like to see him live a little older, but you all remember Shang Tsung. TheCardDeal.com. I like his takes. This is really hard to follow. He called out Neo. I see you there. He called out me, Midlife, Greg, some others. A vintage 5 to a 6 or 7 to an 8, you often have a hard time finding something that separates the two cards. By the way, for the new viewers, or just tuning in now, we have Trike Sports Cards calling in at 6. I'm going to do voicemails at 5:45. At 5:30, which is in 8 minutes, so I'm not going to get to everything I want. I'd love to take a few callers. I mean, make it 2-3 minutes. Let's get 2-3 people. At 4, if I'm being greedy, to call in and just go. Give us a couple minutes on your PSA thoughts. Give us a couple minutes on anything. Go vote in the poll. But this is the breakdown for today. Tomorrow we'll have Scotty B opening the show at 5:15 my time, 8:15 Eastern time, AIH at 6. He has a good story, always has a good news story. What else? So I wanted to just shout this out. So, all right. So a 5 or 6 basically look alike. A 7 or 8, it's very subjective. I mean, he's pretty right. I didn't understand. Maybe you will. The SGC and PSA need the grade scale of vintage from authentic to 3.0 overhauled, in my opinion. And I didn't understand the 3.0 overhaul. This portion of the hobby is worse. There are plenty of examples from both grading companies that make no sense, and there are no pinholes. So he gave a few. It's like, should that be a 1? I mean, I can't. I'm kind of had a hard time following you. Sorry, but what I got from it is, yeah, that probably shouldn't be a 1. There's a lot better ones than that. That puts to shame some other ones. So I don't know exactly. I had a hard time following his take, and then he has a Hank Aaron here in the front. All right, it's pretty beat up, really off center, but the back has this. I mean, should that be a 1? Or maybe he's arguing it should be authentic. They are pretty dirt. I mean, there's much better ones out there than these two cards he gave examples of. I'm late to the party, but I played about 2 hours of Cyberpunk over the weekend. Was enjoying it. Oh, let's give a little win real quick. Let's get some callers, a few minutes, call in. Let's do 3 minutes. Let's get 3 callers. I don't know if that'll happen. We'll try our best. I had a win. All right, I'm going to tell you, I was at the Front Row Card Show maybe 2 years ago. And I was getting into One Piece. I like the IP. I was believing in it. It's huge in Japan. They're making a heavy push over here. Not just the cards, but just the entire IP. Okay. So I found the first edition, the first OP1, the very first. And man, I would just walk. I was doing my research because there's 2 print runs. The first print run goes for $5,000. It's a blue bottom box. The second print run goes as a white bottom box. Okay, it was $200 at the time. So I bought 2 of them for, I think we came to a deal of $190 each, so $380. This was 2 years ago. So I still have these 2 boxes. And as you can see, this I checked recently, it's up to $1,400. What is it? $1,424 up here, and down here, I guess $1,393. Just a year ago, it was at $253. Last time I checked, it was $400. I'm like, man, should I sell one? Should I keep one? I mean, should I sell one now and keep one? My gut says keep both. But anyways, a big win for me. I haven't sold anything yet, so I haven't gotten any money yet, but I have 2 of these boxes. And the other thing is they're not like the old Pokemon. There's no first edition. They're the same exact cards. There's no way to tell if the card came out of this white bottom or if it came out of the $5,000 blue bottom. Those are funny terms. But and by the way, I have this one right here. Let's see. This is perfect. I didn't open this, but someone sent, I bought some cards, and I guess they had probably a lot of commons. I bought a bunch of commons, and they sent them in this, and this is the original blue box, the back. But you can't tell the difference from, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Do I sell? I think the businessman sells one, or the businessman sells both and puts it somewhere else, and then keeps turning it over. That's just not me. Maybe I sell one, take the victory, and keep the other one long term. Right now, I feel like just keeping both long term. Orlando's a smart man. He says sell. Petty says sell. I trust both of you guys. I'm not going to sell both. If anything, I sell one. The first Pokemon boxes go for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. All right, so we're starting the wave. I appreciate this. Someone just called in. We're at 5:30. This is perfect. A little bit before. I said a lot. I want to do the Griffey watch. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. And then I'm going to take our first caller, and hopefully we get a few more. Oh, I have some merch. Hey, the professor's going. Some merch. Anyways, let's take the first caller. Hopefully I can hear him. I couldn't hear somebody earlier. Let's hope I can hear you. Not Sports Cards Mike. How you doing?
Wonderful, Jason. Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. I'm a little hoarse. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great.
Yeah, got sick over Thanksgiving. I wanted to just call in and talk PSA a little bit. You know that I don't like them and that they are an existential problem for the hobby. And then we go and we talk about it a couple weeks ago, and then they just go and prove it every day. And I want to point out, I do think it's important that people separate the idea of what happened from the regrading versus the idea of them buying the cards. I think them buying the cards, it doesn't matter. It's a small problem versus the big problem. The big problem of them. I
still have a problem with it, though. It still just doesn't make. It's 2 different things. So for me, sure, maybe it's not as big, but I still don't love it.
No, it's terrible optics, right? It's just terrible optics. But I mean, there's a million better ways for them to steal money if they wanted to do that. They could just buy cards, grade them 10, and then sell them. There's just a lot, again, not to dismiss it entirely, but, so I've had a few things happen since I last saw you. I got a PSA reveal, which I did a video of, and I took it down because I cursed so badly at Nat Turner that I didn't want to leave it up. And I'm going to crack some of the cards and send them back. I mean, it was abysmal. Another thing is I only have 2 orders there. One, they send back. The other, they lost 2 of my cards.
And PSA?
Yeah, they lost 2 of my cards. And
so what do you think about what happened? Now, let's do one more minute. There's another caller. Let's do 1 or 2 more minutes, Mike. And maybe we'll throw him on with you. But what do you think about what just happened? An error, just an honest mistake? Because I've talked to you before. You kind of give the benefit of the doubt.
No, I mean, I think that they had pressure. They know that.
Yo, I'm going to throw you on with us. Sorry to interrupt you, Mike. Go ahead, Mike. And nice to see you. Let's hear what Mike has to say.
I mean, just to finish that thought up is that, listen, I think they had pressure. People saw that somebody graded 30 Pokemon cards, which have a very high gem rate. They got 0. And then they did the wrong thing, which is they could have said, you know what, we're going to take yours and we're going to regrade them again. But they literally just changed the slabs. So I think I think they got pressure and they did the wrong thing. But that's what they're prone to do. When you grade a card for 40 seconds, what can you really expect? So,
and Mike, I didn't realize this is the Clemente collector. I didn't. Theo, I think you're first time caller, but I know your channel well. How you doing?
Good. I wanted to welcome you to CIA because I work for CIA, and I wanted to welcome you aboard the team.
Hey, now.
Yeah.
What do you do for CIA?
I am in charge of. My position's called consignment coordinator. So I actually bring in consignments. I actually worked with Greg on the Godfather collection. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice collection.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I love being able to tie an awesome story, a background story, to cards. Because normally, we're buying cards and we don't really know where they came from, and it's really cool to have that background story.
Hey, well, thanks for calling. Theo, what is your relation to the hobby? I know your channel, but go ahead and tell the viewers what do you collect or how are you in the hobby?
Yeah, sure. I've been on YouTube for about 4 years now. I'm a super collector of Roberto Clemente, and that's pretty much where all my hobby funds go. But
where did the passion come from for Clemente?
Well, I am from Pittsburgh, born and raised, and I've heard all the great stories about Clemente growing up. And then whenever I finally got a job and got back into the hobby, I could finally buy the Clemente cards. I never knew they were actually affordable whenever I was a kid. I just bought junk wax growing up. So.
No doubt. Mike, you always are opinionated. What else? I'm sure you have another thing to throw at PSA or something else you have. Mike, what are you thinking?
No, I just think it's important that we have the conversation. And, Neo did his episode where he said, hey, is this just another thing that we sweep under the rug? And I don't think it is. I don't think we can. And I think that
let me throw one at you real quick, because I was thinking about it. This time last year on the news, all we heard about were these flying drones over New Jersey. And it's like that story just goes away. It's not just sports cards. It's just our society. It's how media, no one wants to hear the same thing over and over. Now, one thing I like is there's way more content, way more posts, canceling PSA right now or anti-PSA right now. That's cool. I mean, that's at least making them think. I mean, I hope, that would be my.
I mean, I agree that like people just kind of put things behind them as time goes on. I think as far as the hobby exists, that we've talked about how it's an existential threat. If there is a true integrity problem at PSA, it will absolutely cut the hobby out at the knees. Everything is based on the grading philosophy and the flip, everything everybody buys and going backwards and forwards. But I always come back to the idea of who benefits. Is if we get the integrity right, who really wins? Well, the collectors win over time, but if you own a bunch of graded cards, you don't want the integrity brought into question. So it's a really hard thing. For me, I kind of quit collecting about twice a year, and every time I quit collecting, it's because of PSA. It's because I just can't, in my mind, believe that they do a good job and that I should base the value of my collection off of the job they do.
Theo, do you have any takes, angles on what happened with PSA recently?
Yeah. My take is, PSA has gotten way too strict with grading and being consistent. I think the graders there are scared to overgrade a card, and I think that's why that order had all 9s and 8s. And I think it's really, really killing the hobby because they're really trying to do pop control, and it's really making a lot of collectors sour and leaving the hobby. And I think the situation that happened, personally, I don't think that there was any funny business going on. I think what happened was the wrong graders got those cards and were super strict with them and basically just looked them over for a few seconds and said, oh, these are 9s, and just moved on. And then they saw the social media posts, and then PSA reacted to the social media posts. And what that tells me, though, is that's not good, because the average collector is not on social media to get enough influence to get their cards looked at again. So that tells me and you could Me and you could influence PSA to relook at our cards because they don't want to get negative publicity, right? But the average collector is just going to have to accept the 9s, and they're not going to relook at them. So I think that's my issue with the whole thing, is the fact that they're willing to react to somebody on social media and change grades like that. That's a red flag for me.
One question I have for both of you, and then I'll let you guys go. But this is kind of out of, this is a different angle here, but is there a correlation between TCG and sport? Like, if TCG people were to start leaving or getting annoyed and more hate, is there a correlation between how well TCG is doing and sports cards? If TCG were to find a big drop, do you think it correlates at all to the entire card market? I don't know. I'm just asking, off the top of my head. So, and maybe, Mike, why don't you go first, and then we'll hear Theo.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, TCG has become a monster very quickly. So I think it matters more to maybe card shops and PSA than if I've been collecting other stuff for a while. It doesn't impact me. But I think as far as PSA goes, if you saw a 50% drop in TCG, they're going to need to replace that money. I mean, PSA is just a business. I do want to bring up one other thing, is that, a few weeks ago I was on here, and maybe even before that, I mentioned that I'd found PSA putting, reprints in slabs, and I reported it as they asked. It's weeks later. I gave them absolute exact information. The slabs are still certified, and they're still for sale on eBay. It's just things we can't have. And it's like, if they can't do backflips for somebody who has a TCG problem on the internet, on social media, and not fix fake cards. It's just a problem. And I think, coming at them from every level is the best way to go. But as far as if there's an issue in TCG, I just think they'll try to make good with what they've been doing to sports card collectors for a while. But I don't know if that'll work.
Theo, any thoughts on that? And by the way, David, thank you so much, bro. Theo, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up. I did some Pokemon collecting when I was in high school, and so I have that crossover with TCG and sports cards. Not anymore, but my son's into TCG now, and I think if TCG goes down, I think it will hurt sports cards, because there's a lot of fathers that go to card shows right now with their sons. Their sons to collect Pokemon, they collect sports cards. I think it'll, like we were saying, it'll decrease grading submissions at PSA. It'll decrease foot traffic at card shows, and that overall will hurt the whole hobby as a whole. So I do think that would have a negative impact. Now, I will say there aren't a lot of sports card collectors that collect TCG. There's not that crossover, but within the same household, I'd say yes. So
just to leave,
Well,
I'm looking forward to following CIA more. And is there, what's one reason you could tell the viewers to go check out, CIA auctions?
Sure. I mean, all this stuff going on right now with shill bidding, it is what it is. But I think we do things the right way. We don't have employees bidding on cards. If somebody shill bids, they're immediately banned from the site. We do everything the right way, and we are an auction company run by collectors. Crystal and Jeremy's actually a T2S6 collector. We're an auction house run by collectors, and we're trying to do things for collectors. So we really want to be just an auction house for the people. And hopefully people will go check out the December auction. It ends on Sunday. And I'm hoping to get you on some auction closing shows every once in a while, Professor.
Hey, now let's figure it out. All right, guys. Thank you for calling in. Have a good night.
Hey, Jason, before I go, can I bring up one last piece?
Sure. I let Theo. I don't want to. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I just my one piece of remedy with PSA is there are tons of things we could do. Is I think we just need to see how the sausage is made, right? I think we just need to see how they grade it.
Let me ask you. I feel like they now have their hands in too many pots. And that Rocco, the guy interviews, they're opening international hubs and they don't even have enough people. They're doing too much. And I don't think it can be discounted that PSA has changed their whole business in the past 6 months to a year. And so I just think they're trying too much.
I'm not going to argue with that, but I think that their core business is grading cards. And if we could see how much time they spend on cards? Because I'm pretty sure that they don't grade cards anymore by hand. I think there is an AI process which does the grading. Then it goes to a human who basically says yes or no, looks it over for 40 seconds, and then eventually maybe there's a secondary QA thing. But I think they need to show us. Like, I think if you're unwilling to show us the simple process of how you grade cards, not secret sauce or anything, just what happens.
That would be good, but could you trust when they show? I mean, they're just making it on. I mean, I agree. Yeah, but
in the way they cut it together, sure. If they were like, there are many ways to do that. There are other ways to make sure it's certain. Like, hey, bring out 5 cards, have your graders grade them live, and then we'll compare.
Sure.
There are plenty of ways, but I think just having a basic level of transparency on the process would be really helpful. But that's not going to solve the idea of them grading too many products, trying to do too many things, having their fingers in every different pie and every different part of the sports card business or trading card business. But like, I think that if we try to solve everything, we'll solve nothing. So that's why I picked the one idea of show us how you actually grade a fucking card already, you assholes.
Hey now, hey Mike, well, and hey, thank you for calling in, bro.
All right, later, buddy.
Have a good night. I'm assuming Neo's talking to someone in the chat. As Neo is taking the stance, it seems in the chat, I could be wrong, of Geoff, they wouldn't do this. Why would they do this? Where the hell is it? Jesus, we're going the wrong way. Hold on. This one, do you really think they would do that? And so I just think there could be employees inside. It could be really bad tech issues. They're getting too big for themselves, as I just mentioned. It could definitely be an honest mistake, but is it the only time that's ever going to happen? It seems like quality control is lacking. Vote in the poll, by the way. Don't let me forget that poll. And then again, some people, I have another friend that called me before the show. He's like, yeah, Dan made the video and he never said really that this could actually be something they're trying to make revenue on. I also think that people discount how big I know this is where me and Neo disagree, is I just don't think it's as big as everyone thinks. And they got to keep the number. No one in 2025 can ever show a dip. God forbid. No matter what they have to do, because investors, because you guys all people buying cars because of big money, they got to keep it making it look like it's going up, 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 up. Things can't go down. And we have something that did go down. We have a caller. Yes, we do. So we'll do Charles, and then Charles, after you, we'll get to the voicemail. Charles, how you doing?
Oh, just another day in the hobby of some bullshit nonsense.
So I know you have take on the whole thing, so I don't know what it is, but let's hear it.
Let's start with Neo. Neo, you literally sound just like Jeff Wilson when you ran your mouth about how there's not enough
be kind.
Like, are you serious? Neo?
Oh, wait. What, in a calm way, what was the issue you had with Neo?
He just literally said the same thing Jeff Wilson said when he was explaining what happened, as far as the explanation as to why that particular PSA thing happened was, they don't have any incentive to do this. What? PSA don't have any incentive to change their grades and resell their cards and make a profit off of it?
So Neo's saying rogue employees, sure, maybe I'm talking top of it. I mean, nobody knows. There could be 17 different things. Sure, it could just be a one-time honest thing, but that's one of, a gauntlet of other angles or really things that really happen or are happening. So I couldn't pinpoint what, but I also think it's just foolish to say, okay, it's one thing and it couldn't be something else.
This is not an anomaly. This is not an outlier. This is something that happens probably on a regular basis, and because someone got lazy, they got caught and didn't change a cert number. That's how they got caught.
So you would think that they are doing this, but they're changing the cert number normally, and so that's how. Yeah,
100%. 100%.
Why do you think that?
Because money. Okay, you go from a PSA 9, which is okay, that's cool, to a PSA 10. All right, let's give an example. I have a Kobe Bryant Ultra Fleer 96 rookie card, right? PSA 9, it's about up to $100 now, right? PSA 10, ready for it? $900, probably over $1,000 now. Would you like to take a guess when I submitted that card, what grade I got? A 9.
7. Okay.
No, it was a 9. I got a 9. But everyone, like, it went through GA grading. They're like, this will probably jam. I'm like, well, send it in.
Did you sell it as a buyback?
No, I PC Kobe. I don't sell my Kobe. But
I got.
Yeah, I'm a Kobe guy for life. But no, and then Jeff Wilson, can he make it more obvious that he is just he's a lobbyist for PSA? He's not even anymore. He's a lobbyist. Look at the big surprise. Like, we know that you've been lobbying for over a year or two to have a PSA grading service inside your card shop. It's all you've talked about. But Nate Burns beat you to it like 4 or 5 years ago. So now, imagine how far behind you are as a card shop owner when you have Nate Burns, who's been doing this stuff for years and years and years down in Tennessee, who's one of the most respected card shop owners in the hobby, by the way. Ask Mike Geo about him. He's universally loved. He does everyone the right way. And
Charles, speaking of Geo, did I go too hard on Geo? I feel a little bad how that conversation went, especially after that nasty voicemail.
It makes for good ratings, but at the same time,
go ahead.
I think it was a bit much, but I mean,
it was. I think it struck a nerve in me, and also
it struck a nerve with Geo too.
It was also just for both of us. We're human. It was honest. It was genuine. It was raw. But I mean, in my takeaways, we're human. I mean, that shit happens. It was a tough conversation to have.
But Geo had it with you, and that's more than what most people would do. And that's why I respect Geo in the hobby. Yes, he does some things like Arena Club and shit, and I'm like, what the fuck, Geo? But at the same time, he does some things where you're like, you know what? At least he's honest about it. I don't have to worry about if he's going to go behind my back or try to get you from the front. You just got to defend it. You know what I mean? But I like Geo.
What's done is done.
He took everything in stride, and you guys seemingly have a good, friendship and stuff.
Well, we'll see. We'll things get tested. Phil Jackson was big on, and he pushed Kobe and Shaq too hard, but he's big on, a little bit of conflict, a little bit of that. That's what brings people together. It's what brings.
All they did is become the 2 greatest players of all time, Professor. I think it worked out pretty good for them.
Yeah, and Pippen and Jordan don't even talk now, but he did the same with them. Anyways, Charles, any last closing? I want to get to voicemails. Any last closing words?
My closing words are simple, and I think it should go without saying at this point, especially with the audience here. Literally don't take anything Jeff Wilson says seriously at this point.
Hey now.
He is just a shill. He's a lobbyist for PSA. He's ridiculous. There's plenty of people in the hobby, like Professor. I'm doing my best. Just going on between when I collected as a child and now what I'm learning as I go in this hobby. That's just crazy.
You're a quick study. You're learning fast.
It's just nuts how fast things are nowadays, where social media is involved in everything. It's just take a step back. You're not going to have FOMO. You're not going to miss out on anything. Just take a step back. Like, I went into a card shop, okay, and I'm going to break one rule, Professor. I know you don't like it, but I broke my rule. I broke stride in not buying, a hobby box or something. I bought instead Dan Issel rookie card. PSA.
Why don't I like that? I love that.
Well, I mean, the whole.
I want the auto version, but that's beautiful.
Well, yeah, I would love to have a Dan Issel autograph, but that's his rookie card. PSA 7, got it for $50.
So I'm talking about. That's what I like.
It looks great.
I love
and guess
it.
what? I didn't have to buy any nonsense or any nonsense wax to get it.
No, Charles, I like that purchase. And just to throw it back your way, that Dan Issel auto copy, you wouldn't get it in a 7, but it's still probably like $100-$150. So they're attainable. Those are the ones I really like. I like those Hall of Famers with
Dan
the
Issel's
auto.
a Kentuckian. He played at the University of Kentucky, played for the Kentucky Colonels. I'm, obviously Kentucky fan. Yes, we're going through a rough time. And we did beat North Carolina Central 103-67. So there's that. But we can't beat anybody worth a damn. So there you go.
Charles, bro, thank you for calling in, always supporting, and have a great week. I'll see you. I hope you're here tomorrow. But yep, thanks for calling in, Charles.
Thanks.
Hey now, that worked great. I wanted 3 calls. We got 3 calls. Let's do voicemails. Trike will be here at 6. I have a show scheduled with Trike. I just dropped my second pen. I need a pen around so I don't interrupt everybody and I can write my thoughts. Let's do a voicemail. There's 3 good ones. And I cut this guy off. He said, hey, first time, long time. And then last time I got so into that other voicemail. Now, so here we go. First time, long time. Let's give it a second chance. I feel bad not playing at all. He's talking about the Griffey card. What do we got? 10 minutes? Let's real quick. The Griffey watch. It finally has a sale under $4,000. I think the high we saw on Card Ladder was about 4,500. This is the first under $4,000 sale in a long while. And I just look at this. This is the COVID spike. This is the weird, unorganic. And look exactly. Fucking look out below. I mean, that thing's gonna yep. And then the Jordan, not quite as bad. And PSA 9, it's not spiked up as high. You haven't seen that same COVID, but it's still high. Last sold for 30 grand. Someone wanted me to check the PSA 9 because it's done the same thing. Look at this, 33,000 copies, yet it's hit COVID pricing. I mean, there's 33,000. You can't argue with me on that one. There's 33,000 copies. You can get this every day, all day, 17 of them if you want. And look at that. So be a buyer beware. Don't be buying these things. It's crazy. Let's hear this guy's take on the whole thing. Oh, there we got a call.
First time, long time.
Hey now.
What I would bring up as kind of a critique of you and kind of the bear market type people is, and it's okay if you collect what you want to collect, that's all, and don't worry about the money. But when you fixate on the money, the critical often ignore the demand side of the curve and fixate on pop count, which is an important thing because it is true scarcity. But you all often discount the demand side, like on the Ken Griffey 80.
I'm going to pause it. So sure, there's 4,000. You want to make that argument with 4,000, which is still not, there's too many for it to do something like this. The demand is not that. The demand is this, and the demand is here in the middle. And the only time we've ever seen this demand is when there was an artificial spike from COVID. And the one that really pops home is there's 33,000. It's only $300, but you still see this is how regular demand works. And okay, a lot more people got in and the weird COVID bullshit. And the only other time you've seen, take it for what it is. Charts normally don't lie too much. The only other time you've seen this huge bull run with 33,000 copies is ridiculous. It's not true demand, even if there's demand for it. And it's just mind-boggling. Let's let him. He's got about a minute left.
9 upper deck. A famous quote relating to this is, "Markets can remain irrational longer than you can stay solvent," by John Maynard Keynes.
I like that.
You're never going to get value on kind of going after.
But I like to look at history. I like to look backwards. And so sure, it can. And the last time that stopped, we saw a big drop in those cards. The only other time in the card world history in 100 years that prices go up every week and every day and every month. The only other history we have of that, we saw a huge crash in prices. And there was demand for that shit then. There's been demand for it for years. Everyone's always wanted a Griffey. I mean, then there's so many of them. And it's, you say the pop, okay, I'm trying to listen, the pop count, it's just so many, the pop count's so high, and it's relative to every other card. The pop count's crazy high.
Maybe not highly demanded cards just because they have a low pop count. On the other side of that, where I agree with you, or kind of your overall sentiment, there will be another crash, especially with junk parallels and garbage patch auto cards. But that is where all the short-term money is made.
Yeah.
And that's why people focus on that. So I just wanted to say kind of that.
I agree with that. Sorry to pause. There's like 10 more seconds, or 20 more seconds. I agree with that. But I think that's happening with the Griffey cards as well right now. I think it's happening with some other cards. We just got a caller. Maybe it's Strike. I'm going to finish these with some of who it is.
Analysis against
not Strike, but another big dog. Let me finish. I feel bad cutting this voicemail off twice. Let me.
Like yourself, which I tend to agree with, but there is, treating the market so rationally just isn't the type of analysis you want to bring to it, just like the stock market. All right, thank you.
No, that's fair. Treating it rational. The world isn't rational. It doesn't operate on logic. Mr. Neo, how we doing?
Professor, what's up?
Hey, bro, your videos are, your videos are doing well, I'm noticing.
I mean, well, the views go as the drama goes, and the drama's been hot the last, month?
What did you call in for?
Let's talk through some of this PSA nonsense. You know, chat was giving me some grief, so I figured I'd pop on real quick.
So one of my viewers, his take was he was annoyed you kept saying just look up the cert number. They could change the cert number. My take is you shouldn't have to look up the cert number. So I don't know, where do you stand with that one?
That was more just like I was saying, check the cert number to go back and double check. Like if this is truly a widespread thing that they're doing, according to what happened to this person, you should be able to go back and look at your old PSA offers and compare. Like if you sold a PSA 9, just double check the cert to see, like, you know, this thing's gone viral and no other major examples have popped up that I'm aware of. Now, I'm not in every little nook and cranny of social, but I haven't seen anything crazy pop up.
So your take is it's just an honest accident.
I think pull up. Where was your little poll thing? I forget what the things were you had on the poll.
Here, let's pull it up. Neo
My general
card
take is I don't think it's some grand conspiracy from the top down. Like I don't think.
So you don't think PSA's plan to make significant revenue? This number 5.
I
don't
think that
it's a way for them to make extra revenue.
Correct. I just don't think that makes logical sense. Because
how about like I saw you say? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Your previous caller mentioned, like, let's be real here. Let's say that, okay, you want to go down that path, that they want to use this as a profit driver. Why would they use other people's cards if they truly wanted to do this? They could just send a kid out to a card show, buy whatever card they want, and slap whatever grade on it that they want.
It's convenient, I guess. I hear what you're saying.
Like,
why they're not doing that?
Why even risk messing with other people's cards when you could just go buy any card you want for pennies on a dollar, submit it straight, and just slap whatever grade on it?
Well, you know how my brain works. You just gave me shit. They're buying cards at shows for 90%. Who's to say? I know I'm not saying they are, but you immediately, my skeptical brow, maybe they are. So what about, I think a more reasonable take is there's, you know, some employee on the inside could be doing some funny stuff, or that's just an argument I have on the whole thing. Sure, maybe it's all clean up top, but there's a lot of room for somebody else to do something.
I think it's most likely some combination of 3 and 4.
Okay.
The most likely 4.
Do you think they're biting off? I mean, because they really have so much now, and it's not like they're mass hiring or adding it. Is it the fact that they just are in their hand in too many pots?
It's tricky because I think a lot of this stuff is separate teams of people. So it's not like it's like the graders are going to assign cards to the PSA vault, or the graders are building power packs or whatever. You know what I mean? Like they are separate teams, but it does feel like they are stretched too thin. You know, they have the GameStop collab that they're getting a ton of cards from. They have all.
They're going to be under a magnifying glass. You know, anything that continues to happen, they're going to kind of have. They have a little bit of a magnifying glass on them right now.
I would argue that they always do. I mean, do a video on PSA. It performs better than anything else on most content creators' channels. So they always have a little bit of a magnifying glass on them. Like on the rogue employee one, I guess, like, what's the angle there? That the grader is going to grade it low and then they're going to buy it back and then like resubmit it. Like what's the angle on a rogue employee?
I'm not sure that I know the intricacies or thought that deep into it, but people in that, you know, people can come up with a million ways. I just my overall thought is, well, they're not paid enough. They live in an expensive area. You know, it's easy to say, hey, let's do some shenanigans.
I guess it depends on, I guess, what angle you're taking on the rogue employee. Like, say an employee is gonna undergrade a card, because I've personally gotten this comment on videos the last couple of days. Like, an employee is gonna undergrade a card, and then they're gonna buy it back, and then they're going to resubmit it and get a 10. Like, on paper, sure, you could make that argument, but like, so you're saying someone's going to grade a card, they're grading 2 million cards a month, and then they're going to find that specific cert and buy it back, and then they're going to resubmit it and hope that it gets the 10 that they thought it deserved the first time through? Like, that seems like a lot of hoops to jump through, in my opinion.
Well, in this case, they wouldn't hope that it gets a 10. They would have an inside to make sure it gets a 10.
But that's assuming you know like every single grader. Like they have a huge grading team. Like how
Or
are
they
you
make
going
sure
to know?
it goes to one grade. We've all seen some.
Yeah.
There's some. There's criminals out
Just-
there.
I'm not saying that it can't happen. That just seems like a lot of hoops to jump through on something like that. Just finding the card in general would be finding a needle in a haystack. I mean, imagine trying to find like, let's use a Pokemon example because there's a ton, like the gray felt hat, whatever. There's like 20,000 on the pop report. Imagine being like, I'm going to give 5 of these a 9 and then trying to go find that cert number for sale on eBay, assuming the person's even selling the card.
I think you make good points. Here's what I want to ask you. Do you I think here's something that a little bit bothers me with this comment Geoff has. He's so sure. He's taking one angle that's so sure. And I don't know. None of us know. And so I think that it's good that you can see I'm not being biased. I have some fair things up here, but I think it's also good just to have a lot of people think a lot of ways on this. I don't think going to a extreme conspiracy is fair, but it could be. But I also think just having a more nuanced take on it and going over some of the different options. I thought you made some valid points.
I think to me, and I feel like this, it's not getting swept under, but like the conspiracy angle of this is getting played up more than I think what the real issue here is the inconsistency of the grading. I've said that in a couple videos this week. Like, I think the fact
that's a huge problem. Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's not getting the press, if that makes sense. Like,
but them
everyone's
grading
going to the go ahead.
I think there's just quite a few. There's many issues we could point that could be done probably a little better.
Yeah, to me, I am more taken aback by the fact that the guy submitted 30 cards and 11 of them flipped from 9 to 10s on a third look. Or a second look, whatever it was.
That's odd. That's weird.
That the fact that 11, basically 35% of the orders or whatever it is, got the wrong grades. To me,
and 30 of them got a 9, right?
Issue.
All 30 got a 9.
The way I understand it, it was 30 of the identical card.
Yeah.
Initially, they all got 9s, and then 11 flipped to 10s. Like that to me is the larger PSA issue than the conspiracy theory angle on it.
I'm going to flip a little. I have another question. Trike's supposed to call in here in a minute. I'm going to ask him the same thing. I asked Scotty, but I recently interviewed Scotty. He'll come out in the video, but this is a real big pivot. I think that there might be, it's going to get a little bit of a burnout on Topps. It's going to be sad to no longer see a Prism or an Opt, to just see Topps football, Topps basketball. It's kind of going to be, so do you ever see a point where we kind of get burnt out of another Topps Chrome release or another Topps paper release? Because it's just going to happen over and over and over with no fresher or nostalgia sets we've had.
I mean, Topps was popular for how long though? Prior to
no,
that?
But there was Skybox, there was Fleer, I understand, but there was still other. This is the first time Topps is going to be making everything.
So flip it around like this, though, you could say the same thing about Prism. I mean, all we had was Prism basketball for a decade.
Sure, no, and sometimes it was like I'd like to see Topps Chrome. I agree with that, but they did a good job with Optic and Select and other things.
I think there's going to be enough product offerings that you'll be able to pivot if you're like, I'm sick of Topps Chrome. Let me go look at Topps Finest or Bowman's Best or, whatever. And I think a lot of it's going to come down to, I mean, let's be honest, a lot of this is just going to come down to how good or bad the current rookie class is. If it's a bad rookie class and a great looking product, no one's going to care. If it's a shit product, but it's a great rookie class, people aren't going to care. They're going to chase the names, not the design on the card.
I'm gonna miss some of it, and I do see a burnout coming one day. What about how your Cavs doing? How you feeling about your Cavs?
They look like shit.
They're gonna make a trade
with the second apron crap. They're really hamstrung on that.
Are you a Browns fan as well?
Unfortunately.
Okay, that was a rough. Yeah, well,
hey man, Shredder looked good. Shredder looked good.
Yeah, but okay, my argument with that is he did look good against my Raiders and the Titans. The Titans had 1 win all year. My Raiders have 2 wins. So he had a great game. I just want to see it against some, this is late in the season. These teams have quit by now that he's playing.
You were not wrong, sir. But listen, I'm a Browns fan and I don't have a whole lot of, I haven't had a lot of fun watching the Browns since the mid 80s when Bernie Kosar was the quarterback.
Oh, wow.
Eric
Okay.
Metcalf and, it's not
Trike, welcome.
Frank, what's up?
Neo, do you want to stay on with us or do you want to get going? I mean, you're more than welcome.
I got nothing going on. If you want to boot
stay
me,
on,
boot
man.
me. I don't want to overstay my welcome. I just kind of wanted to run down those. Like, I get it. Everyone wants to run to the worst case scenario, but I think that there needs to be at least some logical discussions about what potentially happened here.
All right. I hope before we start, Frank, I hope you're here. If star questions, comment or chat, ask Neo, ask Trike, ask myself some questions, Frank Starman, and then stop rolling comments for a bit. All right, because I'm gonna have the three of us on the side, and I don't want to cover their face. So here, Troy, how's your day?
Good, man. Good. I've actually I was looking forward to this all day. I've been tuning into the lives and stuff, so it's a great day. I'm excited to be on here.
Flattering. All right. So you guys are both good people to ask this because I don't do too much modern, and what I do, I like the optic. I like certain sets. I know Troy's more in this right now, and Neo, maybe you, but what is a couple products you'd recommend or think are pretty strong right now? Let's start with Troy. Sure. I see you buying some stuff. I mean, is it all garbage? I mean, that's what I think.
Well,
and your reaction.
That's the funny thing is like, like a lot of my videos, like I just did a big ripping challenge with Teapot, and in all my videos, I try to make it clear. I'm like, I don't think like ripping is not a good return on money. Like it's not a winning proposition. But I guess maybe sometimes I don't make that clear enough or say it enough. So in terms of ripping, like I don't rip a lot of wax.
So let me take it a different way. What about a modern set that you enjoy collect? Is there I thought you collect more modern stuff, but is there something out that you like to collect?
Yeah, I mean, I collect weird stuff. Like I collect Topps Chrome 2017 soccer. It's the first year of Topps Chrome soccer. And then 2020 Topps Chrome Formula One. Like I love Topps Chrome and I love Formula One and soccer. So those are the sets that I personally collect a lot. And then otherwise, it's not really just sets. I mean, everyone knows like I'm a big John Collins collector because I played with him. So I just like to buy, I like Logo Mans and Flawless and all that stuff. Nothing too fancy, but that's the stuff I go after.
Neo, how about you? Anything you'd recommend to buy as a product or just something you're collecting now?
I mean, I kind of agree with Trike. I only rip product going in for like the entertainment value of the rip, not for the I'm expecting to hit like the cool card that's going to add to my collection or whatever. I'm strictly doing it and for me, it's even a bigger cheat code because I'm making content on it. So like it's an extra level of, oh, that caught me off guard. An extra level. It's like it's a different approach for me because I am getting the benefit of having fun ripping a product. I get to make a video out of it. I make like a whopping $40 back on the YouTube video. You know what I mean? Like there's different angles to it from the content side of it that I'm opening it for that most people aren't going to.
But you're saying don't rip. Both of you really. And
saying if you're going to rip, just go in with the right mindset of I am probably lighting this money on fire.
Yeah.
I literally look at it. It's the same as sports gambling. Like when I don't sports gamble a lot, but when I do, it's like $20 or whatever. It's like that money is gone. I don't expect any return back on that. It's an entertainment value. Like if you look at sports cards, like, oh, I'm going to spend this 100. Like I got to win on this one though. This is the box where I get it all back. Wrong mindset. That's not the way to look at it.
Like I'll give a great example. I picked this up at my local show this weekend. So it's a Jalen Tyson RPA, NT RPA out of 25. This came out of, I don't know what, Trike, probably like a $3,000 to $4,000 box, most likely.
Yeah, potentially
NT basketball. The 24 was a weaker class, maybe a little bit less.
Yeah.
But I got this for like $150. And this would have been like the big hit out of a box.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah.
And yeah, I know it's not a big player or anything, but like, you could buy a really nice card for a player on your favorite team for a fraction of the price of what the box costs.
Well, that's the thing too. And I think people, especially who are new to the hobby, genuinely don't understand that. You can open a box, you can get a case hit, you can get a 101, you can get in some cases a Curry auto, and you can get the best hit possible and you won't get your money back. You won't even get close in a lot of cases, which is crazy, which is also different. I was just talking to a friend about it. And Pokemon, I'm not super into the Pokemon world, but that doesn't seem to be the case over there. Like I opened one box one time. I didn't even hit anything crazy. I hit like some full arts or whatever.
Their highs are, you can't hit they don't have some $50,000 chase card in there. Their high is 1,000, 5,000. It's more, but you are right. You can make a little, you're not getting crushed as bad.
Yeah, I think we talked about this before when we said like, oh, if you were the secret hobby genie, what would you change or whatever? And there is no world where it's like, oh, everyone's going to open a box and make profit. That doesn't exist. But I do wish that people didn't lose their shirt as much as they do. You know, like I really estimate, this isn't based on any crazy math or anything, but I think your average return is like 15%, maybe 20%, probably not even 20% is the max. I would estimate it back of your
It's
average
gotten
return.
really bad.
And to me, that's tough. That's tough.
I mean, I've done video breakdowns where I kept track of exactly what I spent opening boxes, and like I sold every card from the box, and I factored in like the money I made off of the various YouTube videos from it. And I used like every trick in the book I possibly could, and you're like barely breaking even if you're lucky.
Yeah. And you've hit good stuff. I swear every time you've done those videos, you've hit like good stuff in there too.
Sometimes, don't get me wrong, I got some real duds out there too, but
okay,
you know how it is. The good ones get floated to the top of the recommendation pile because you could. Though I've actually had the videos where you get completely torched perform better. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
Because you can
people want to see that.
Yeah, people want to see the train wreck, not
people like the real stuff. That's what I've a million times I've told people, like, people think it's like, oh, spending $100K at a card show, or I hit this one of one. Like, it's not relatable. People like to see the struggle and stuff like that. That stuff, funny enough, performs better a lot of the time.
The other note I'll throw in about Pokemon boxes too, the advantage that they have is your buy-in is a lot less.
It's
Like,
growing
even
higher,
inflated-
but yes, they're
even at-
annoyed because it has gone up.
Yeah, but even at the inflated prices, you could get a booster box of Pokemon of like Surging Sparks is a really good set. You can get a box for $230.
Yeah.
Now normally
but there was
it
a
used to be
time that was
$160.
$130.
Yeah, sure. It used to be $150, but when you compare that to an equivalent sports card product, you're probably talking like $700-800 for an equivalent sports card product, and you're gonna get smoked.
I'm curious too. I'm gonna give away one of my videos here, but like, especially with Pokemon grades better too. So you take that into account. I think if you ripped a good amount of Pokemon, it's tough now with the market.
Swap your grades.
Yeah, there. You know what? Forget I said anything. That's true. Yeah. That would ruin my whole plan. But I'm.
Right, let's go right there while I said it. What is your? We've gotten everyone else's take on it. Where are you on this whole PSA thing?
It's a tough one. I think, as always, like, I think the right take is somewhere in between. Like, I've heard actually a shocking amount of people say, like, who I respect, are like, oh, this is a nothing burger. Like, come on, guys, we really think PSA would do, which, and I'm not talking about you, Neo, to be clear. I think you've given a pretty measured take on it in general, but it's tough because at the beginning, when everyone had their tinfoil hats on, I was like, come on, guys. But this mistake, it doesn't look good in terms of the optics. Now, obviously, to be clear, do I think there's not some Nat Turner, there's not a top-down conspiracy where they're trying to do all this, skim revenue out the top? I don't believe that, but I am disappointed because I look at it kind of like when I was in high school and my parents wanted to give me a curfew. And I was like, you know what, guys, like, I'm just going to be playing 2K with my friends until midnight. Like, I don't think I should rush home. If you catch me getting drunk and hungover and I start making mistakes, then put the magnifying glass on me and we can talk about it. That's kind of was my mindset with PSA. And now that they made this mistake, I'm like, man, that now people have a right to be a little skeptical. Once again, to be clear, do I think that PSA is skimming money by doing all this stuff? No, of course not. But I think that acting like this is nothing and that people don't have a right to feel kind of a little betrayed by this, I think is dumb.
Okay, so I'll ask you and I'll ask you. So I did that hobby pulse check, which I need to make another one. I have more coming, but all four of you kind of had the same take that, you Run Good Life, Scotty B, all had kind of the same, Chris, that it's not that big of a conflict of interest. And so I'm on a different side of that camp completely, just with all the different things. So let's hear Troy first, because, at first, all you guys, and maybe you still have that take, and I'm guessing I could think Neo's, but I'd love to hear both of you. Why don't we hear from Troy first?
No, I mean, I think once again, the point that's been brought up a couple times too is PSA doesn't own these cards. I think that's a pretty important point there.
But they do get a slice, or they get some, they must get a commission or something.
They get a slice, but a lot of the arguments I've heard is like they're taking these out back and then they're changing them and then they own these cards, and it's like what are they getting through this program at best right now? Maybe 5%. So they're not even making $20. They're making 5% of the $50 gain that they'd make changing it to a PSA 10. But I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think people who are want to put a closer microscope on PSA because of this, like, sure, you can have that opinion.
And for me, it's not just this. It's the graded grails. It's the partnering with GameStop. There's a lot of different ways they can. And I'm not saying it just takes one high up. It doesn't have to be Nat Turner. It doesn't have to be the next guy down. I know there's a camp of people that feel that way, whether they're just overreacting or looking for something to jump on. For me, we're going to see more of this shit. It might not be the same thing, but this is one of many things people are still going to find reasons to be annoyed with PSA.
I think, and now I'm kind of remembering, I forgot kind of what I said in that video. I'll stand by what I said before. Like, if you're concerned about PSA pulling some funny business, I don't think that PSA offers is what's going to like enable that necessarily. Like, if I think Neo was saying a little bit, if they wanted to do funny business, they can do it in a million different ways. So if you want to be skeptical of PSA, that's fine. But I don't think that the fact that they're doing PSA offers is like this thing that's, oh, this is terrible, like this is going to ruin everything.
But they are buying, to Neo's point, they are buying, people they're at car. I've seen them at shows and they're paying 90%. So they're buying in a lot of different ways.
PSA?
PSA is not buying at shows.
No, PSA is not buying at shows.
Oh, okay. All right. I've heard it. I could have swore I saw it, but I trust both of you guys, so I'll stand back on that. Neo, what's your take?
I have personally never seen. I go to a lot of shows and I have never seen PSA.
I've definitely seen Reddit forums on them, and I could have swore I could be. I'm not going to stand by because I can't remember. I've definitely seen Reddit posts on it, and I could have swore I could definitely be wrong. Neo, what I'm assuming I already know, but what's your take on a conflict of interest with all the different? It's all changed. PSA is not the same business model as it was for 30 years.
Do I personally think there's one? No, but I could easily see how someone could go to that place, like the way that they lay things out. Now, I will say, to the point of PSA not buying the cards, which is technically correct. PSA is not buying the cards; they are selling them.
It's like quote unquote their group. It goes to their.
Correct. Now, what I will say, though, what I will push back on is one of the buyers in that, and I know a decent amount of the people that are in that buying pool. One of them is Power Packs. And Power Packs is, if you dig into Power Packs, which I've talked about this on a video before a while back, Power Packs is an LLC registered to Collectors Universe. So PSA is not buying them. But Collectors Universe, in probably a joint venture with GameStop, is buying them. So,
and Collectors Universe owns PSA. Yeah. Okay.
So,
all right.
Listen, like
I see those dots.
I don't say I don't call it as I see it. I get people don't like my logical takes, but I always side eye whenever they double down on the PSA is not buying the cards, because it is technically true.
Sometimes your takes are a little biased.
You don't do anything with PSA at all, right? Either, like no affiliate.
I have never made a penny off PSA.
Yeah, that's why people come at you so hard for that.
People in the comments were calling me out for being bought and paid for by PSA. I have never taken a PSA sponsorship. They asked and I turned them down because I've said from the beginning of the channel I will not take a sponsorship from a grading company because I talk about grading too much. And they've all offered. I've turned every grading company down.
You're both here. This is something I did with Scotty B recently. I'll release that video, but I'm going to take you through with some of these. It's like this LaMelo ball is sold for $23,000, where a PSA 9 Jordan, which I don't like how many there's graded, but in the 9 there's 3,000. They're the same price. I mean, it's just insane to me. I mean, do you have Scotty did a good job of picking up, because I'm not a modern guy, but it just doesn't make sense.
I mean, it's always been this way though, no? Like
not to these prices, not to everything changed in price in 2020. So sure, but no, I don't think the new rookie Shaq was ever, or a Kobe was ever the same price as a Jordan 9.
Well, I'm curious because I'll defer to the chat because I wasn't really around or collecting then. Like I remember Canseco or some of these guys in the 90s had crazy prices. I'd be curious to compare that at the time to what these all-time legends were doing before. Like, was it comparable?
No, it wasn't. The mantle in the 80s was probably, I think, from what I remember and heard, the mantle in the 80s was about a $5,000 card. You could get any of those big rookie cards back in the 80s for under $50. There just wasn't chases. There wasn't golds out of 10. So the high end stuff. Now Jordan wasn't quite as high end then, but he was still it was. So the new, all the money that came in has changed. But again, this is another one. Like, this is the PSA 10 Luka in the middle. You have a Jordan 10 for 230 grand. You have a Kareem 10, which there's only 2 for 240 grand. And then you got this Luka in the middle for 340. It's just, it's crazy to me. It's not, I mean, anything Neo, it's crazy to me.
Gold prisms are a little, I mean, you could pull a million examples of this. Gold prisms are a little bit of a weird thing. They have a pretty big collector base behind them, almost like PMGs to a different extent.
I guess my point is, if the Kareem, after 50 years, is top, 5, maybe the best NBA player of all time, there's 2 of them. It's just insane to me. It's insane. So you just think that there'll be some gold prism collectors for the long term.
Well, of course.
I think that gives it a little bit of a bump up.
If you put a gun to my head, of course, if I could choose between these 2 cards, well, first I would choose neither. I would rather put my money into like the stock market or something safer for me personally, this amount of money. But of course, I would take the Jordan over the LaMelo. Like, you'd be very hard pressed to find anyone who would disagree with that. But I think that the one argument for, I mean, LaMelo is tough at this point. But like, for instance, the Luka, there is more upside. If you're talking about
Jordan has 6 titles. Or excuse me, I mean, more upside than Jordan.
It's a pop thing, though.
Kareem has 2 and a 10. I mean, these are the number 1 and 2 best players on a lot of lists. And Luka, I love Luka.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Sure,
but if you rewound to 2018, and you're like, would you rather have a Ohtani 101, or would you rather have a Jordan PSA 10? If you said, "Oh, I'll take the Ohtani," people would have said, "Oh, you're an idiot. I can't believe that." Blah blah blah. Ohtani's worth more now. I mean, obviously, once again, in hindsight,
I guess
99 times out of 100, it's not going to be the case. Let's be clear. I would rather have the Jordan or something more stable, but people are paying these high prices for these golds and these really rare cards because they hope that they have more upside.
Sure. For the now, if this is how these cards age, you're fucked on something like this, how it's going to age. Sure, for now, there's hope, there's hype. You might even maybe wins a couple of, but if this is how these cards age, for me, and I have some baseball, the Acuna's 57 grand. Now, Scotty B told me that's like his number 1, his best rookie card. And this mantle over here is, relatively the same, or the Bobby Witt and the Jackie Robinson. So my point more is and I know that's a PSA too, but it's a legendary card. It's a legendary player. If that's how those cards age, I'm just worried for a lot of the crazy prices today, because even in 2015, like Trout wasn't still, maybe so, and it was more. I don't know. It's crazy, these prices to me.
It is. I mean, I agree. There's no argument with it. Like, if I had to choose between these 2, especially if you told me, all right, Troy, you got to hold these for 15 years, it's not even a discussion. Of course, I'm taking the mantle. Of course, I'm taking the Kareem. Like, it's not an argument. But I think it's the gambling, it's the upside. That's what people are going for. And people will lose their shirt on this stuff. And people already have. I mean, especially during the pandemic, the Herbert Shield went for like $1 million or something. Jason Dominguez. There's a bunch of terrible ones. And I think it'll keep happening. It's just, that's just what it is. We're humans. We're attracted to the shiny new thing. Like, that's what's going to happen.
Neo, do you have any thoughts or response to any of that?
No, we're in the same. I think all 3 of us are in lockstep here. I'm not taking any of these. If you're telling me choose one of these modern cards at these prices, I am not taking any of them over the vintage comparisons. But this plays out all the time. We see this time and time again, that the modern stuff gets the hype and the push, and then 95% of them go to next to zero. And what is there realistically? Like, maybe 1 to 3 players per generation.
That's right. That's right.
Hold, like in the current NBA right now, you have Steph and LeBron, but their career is basically written. Like,
and everybody else is a pretty big question mark. Joker, but is one title enough?
Yeah. So take Steph and LeBron, because their career is essentially over. So like, move to the next batch. There's going to be somebody. The most likely case is probably Joker, but he's a big guy, and they don't typically get a lot of hobby love. So then you're going to what? Maybe
I guess you have Giannis,
a few more rings,
Luka, Wemby.
Luka's still too unproven, like from a ring standpoint. He's obviously a tremendously talented player, but he has a long way to go to get on that list of GOATs.
I agree.
You know? And then prior to that, you had what? Kobe, Shaq. I mean, Duncan should be on that list, but he doesn't get the hobby love that a lot of those other players did.
I'm not. Garnett was big.
Jordan
I'm not a big Garnett. Yeah,
you know.
The one thing I think someone mentioned last time, Jordan dominance, and it's like people forget about the 80s, though. I mean, he struggled against those Bird Celtics and he struggled against those Pistons, Isaiah Thomas. So, I mean, he dominated in those 90s, but he had to earn himself up to that. Well, they also built a good team and they had to get Pippen and Phil Jackson. And
I think we've seen time and time again with NBA stars specifically, it takes like 3 to 5 years for most of those guys to break out. I think when Giannis won his ring,
you know, Magic was a rookie and won a chip. Then they had spent 4 years in college. Now you're absolutely. Cade Cunningham came in 19, and now he's balling.
Yeah. Well, and Magic also walked into a pretty good team right from the get.
True. I mean, well, he had Kareem, I would say.
Yeah. When you walk into a team with Kareem already on it, like that's a pretty good way to start your career.
I think this is out of
point though. Like he played in college for 4 years. He didn't come out as a freshman.
Yeah. And they had success in college. They were really good in college. This is more for trite because I don't do soccer. I'm not quite sure. Neil, you might. Okay. Do you think soccer cards will peak before or during the World Cup?
I think before. It's just like any market. I mean, first of all, we're guessing. We don't know for sure, but I think it's similar to basketball or football. Like you want to be selling during the preseason. Once people actually start playing, there'll be a couple guys who pop off if maybe a team goes on a run. But in general, like it's also when everyone is thinking one thing, you should probably be doing the other thing. Like everyone has this grand plan. If I'm going to buy these soccer cards and then during the World Cup, I'm going to sell. So if everyone's thinking that, I'd be a little hesitant, me personally, of like following that exact plan. I think there's going to be a run up going into it. But if you're looking at things purely financially, I think that probably selling before would.
Are there a couple players you think that might be a smart way to go? I don't know anything, so I'm not sure if you I don't want you to make recommendations, but are there? I don't know.
Not really. I mean, I just buy Messi and Ronaldo. Like that's the funny thing. Like I guess people see my content. I don't know where it comes from because I don't think I do a lot of like prospecting or pumping of players in my content. But people ask me all the time. Like I get messages, who should I buy? Who's to buy? Who's to buy? I'm like, I don't know. I don't really do that. Like I just buy Messi and Ronaldo or LeBron or Kobe. Like it's a different thing. Obviously, if you're quick flipping, you play more in the prospect waters. But I never, as part of my quote unquote business, like make it like, oh, I'm going to buy this young prospect and then flip him once he starts playing well. Like that's not something I ever do.
The same, and I think Neil will have more of a take on this one. Do you think Panini Laker Lukas will be a big deal since Topps won't have any Lukas? And I'll let Neo run with that one.
I don't know that I would. No, I don't think so because I think at some point in time, Topps gets Luka. Luka's already showing up in Topps now. So something is going on there. There's already been Luka Topps Now cards. He's not on this initial checklist for Topps, but maybe he shows up in update or something like that. Maybe it's not even this year, but I think eventually we get Luka in Topps. So I'm not.
Oh, you have to assume, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to go chasing, on the hopes, dreams, and wishes that Luka doesn't eventually end up on a Topps checklist.
Troy, any thoughts on that one?
No, I just thought it was weird. Like Neo's probably even a little more plugged in than I am, but when he wasn't on the checklist, I was just so surprised because it's one thing not having autos, but I thought you get the license to all the players, so I never have quite figured out why he wasn't in there.
That's kind of what I thought too. I poked around on him a little bit, but I could never get a great answer on it.
Yeah, because even Wild Card or Leaf, they can still use those players.
Well, they have to have an individual license agreement with that player to use their likeness.
The guy, because I talked to a guy from Wildcard at the National, and he seemed pretty happy. He's like, "No, I don't know. It seemed a little."
Yeah, I don't know about
make it, and then we asked him to sign it and pay him.
But I know that Topps and Panini in the past, like they have an agreement with the Players Association, so they can use all the players. So at least, with the very least, without autos and stuff. So yeah, that was a weird one. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I don't know if they're holding him back for like update to juice up the update product, or if there is something legitimate going on here.
Question: was CT scanning prevalent in the hobby? Why don't breaker, and probably not discussed enough, but we don't want to, we can't just say the same thing over and over, but CT scanning is kind of an issue. Why don't breakers show people top and bottom of the boxes before they cut the tape? These are the questions we should be asked. I don't break. I mean, the more transparency, the better. I'd assume you guys both agree with that. Do you have any thoughts or comments on this question?
I don't know what that would have to do with CT, like showing the top and bottom. I guess you could show that the.
I think he just wants to show that, you know, yeah, what you could still see inside if they wanted.
Yeah, the CT scanning is not going to show anything for that. CT scanning to me is one of the ultimate, like, the hobby just doesn't care about stories after a month, because in my opinion, that should still probably be one of the biggest deals out there, and just nobody cares. Like, nobody talks about it. Like the fact that there's flawless boxes that sell for like 3 to 5K and they could just be CT scanned super
Absolutely.
easy. People just buying the breaks left, right, and center on them is crazy. Like, unless you're buying it on release day, like on Fanatics Live or whatever, like before there's clearly not enough time to have it CT scanned and come back, there's no way I would buy one of those boxes on the secondary market. You'd be crazy. Because it's so cheap too. The pricing's ridiculous on it. Like when I did videos on it, I was stunned by how inexpensive it was to get like a Topps Dynasty box. It's like $60 or something to get one scanned because it's only one card inside. And those are $800 to $1,000 boxes. Like, what? The fact that this is not priority number one for the companies is wild to me. And the fact that just nobody wants to talk about it like anymore is crazy too.
That it is. Because it's too easy. It's too easy. Troy, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, I just wouldn't, especially with like some of these, like going to break on whatnot with like a no-name breaker, a loose box of Dynasty. Like, that's just, you're just asking for problems there. So I would just be smart about it.
This one's for Troy. Any unseen stuff from the DC Sports 87 tour you want to share? Seems like they could be taking down Shilstein at some point. Any takeaways? Did you enjoy yourself? What was that trip like?
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool. I mean, the operation there kind of like blew me away, like all the AI stuff. And I kind of knew it would be a good operation, but I had no idea how much.
What are they doing with AI?
Well, like when they scan the card, I mean, I guess they called it AI. I don't know. Technically it's not, but like when they scan the card, it brought up all the information immediately. And it even showed the different variations, and it gave a percentile of how sure they were. So if they were, and it got everything right. So it's like, oh, we're sure on these. It was perfect. And then the other cards, it's like, we're 80% sure. And then you just have a drop down and you can change like the parallel orange refractor versus orange shimmer. The speed at which they could get 1,000 cards imaged and up on eBay with the correct title was like mind blowing. They could get that all done in like, I don't know, like 30 minutes or something absurd. Like it just blew me away. Really professional operation, but no, I pretty much showed everything. I mean, I try to give everyone the whole experience. I thought it was really cool.
Just huge. I mean, right. Tons of cards.
Yeah. Absurd. And like the, flawless cases and these crazy expensive cards. It's cool. It's cool. It made me happy. Like in the hobby, like obviously I'm on more of like the business side of it, but seeing all these people start these businesses from the ground up and really like build, like him telling me the story of them being on a kitchen table and now they have this huge business doing millions of dollars. Like I thought it was really cool.
Neil, you down to stick around?
Yeah, I'm good. I had a fun question for you regarding this Shilstein thing.
Hey, now, all right, let's do it.
How much, and maybe you saw this tweet, I don't know. How much money do you think he sold revenue-wise on his first run back on eBay?
A lot.
Like his first set of auctions.
I heard the number. I forget what the exact one was, but I'll leave it to Professor because I know the rough range.
I have no clue. I'll be so ignorant to whatever I throw out, but I'll just say he did well. It didn't hurt him at all.
2 million.
Wow, yeah. How, and that's his cards being up for 2 weeks? Is that how?
No, his first auction. His first Saturday auction.
Well, I have someone that wants to sell some cards. He's like, why wouldn't I still sell at Probstein? Because they make 10 to 15% more than anyone else. So even though I don't like what he's doing, why still wouldn't I send my cards through Probstein?
I'm trying to find the number because I have another good one. I haven't put this in a video yet. I was doing the research and then all this PSA stuff popped up and then the Topps stuff popped up.
I mean, I also, to answer your question though, Professor, as much as I've been called a sellout, and I'm sure I will be continued to call that here, like I wouldn't want to support a business. Like if I think a company is doing shill bidding, I don't care if it makes me a couple extra bucks. Like I'd rather do it the honest way. So that would probably be my answer to your friend there.
Yeah. Now, when you're dealing with some expensive cards, like these are expensive cards, so the 10 to 15% good money. But Yeah, it's a shame. I think a lot of people will think like him, you know, and I don't fault him for it, I guess.
Yeah, I'm teach their own.
So, all right, I pulled this up. This one surprised me. I have not talked about this anywhere. You're getting the exclusive.
Hey
data.
now.
So he had 8,200 items in his first auction run. Okay. What percentage of those items do you think had 10 or less feedback or a private bidder?
Oh,
win
wow. This is interesting. Someone did the research here.
Oh.
Wow.
He's an exclusive.
I assume it's a little bit higher than it should be. Troy, you want to go? Or
I will say this. I was surprised by this number. I won't say it's a good surprise or a bad surprise.
Oh, okay. Now
I should also note this number is provided by GemRate, so he gave me all this data. So
and when you say under 10 feedback, I mean that would imply that these are maybe not.
I'm not implying anything. I'm just saying
the number. Okay, the number would
a
imply
buyer
for me.
with 10 feedback or less won an
Penny
item.
Sleeve says 80%.
I'm going to say
100.
40%. That's my guess.
Wow.
And I'll go with third. I think we're way too high based off his reaction.
What was yours, Prof?
A third.
6.7%.
Oh my God. They are legitimate.
Hold on. I have another one.
It's
I
solved.
have a second level to this.
Okay.
What percentage, same thing, 10 feedback or less, or a private bidder, finished in second place?
Oh, dang, that's a good one. Well, if you said 6 to 7%, it should be around there. But I'm going to say at least, I'll go 15%.
Yeah, 20.
7.5.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
We have them all wrong.
One that gets me that we were looking at, and I'm not saying it was just probe scene, is you have a Griffey card that has 31 bids, and the other one ended with only 6. That's really odd. I'd be curious to know how many of his auctions had, you know, more than 10 bidders throughout that auction. That would also be a good one.
Do I have that data? Let me look at my spreadsheet.
Oh, okay. The research man.
I do.
All right,
I do have that data.
Okay.
We got to move them up in the rankings too, Prof. This is pretty good. What tier does this put them in?
You wanted to know how many bids were placed?
But it's hard, like average per card. You know, I guess it would be hard to. I'd want to know if he has a bunch like under 10. Some with 30 and 40, but then it looks weird if some only have 6 or 7.
Hold on, let me see if there's an easy way that I could.
And we should tell the people as
run
well
your
that
show.
you are-
Not just I'll play with numbers here in the background. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say we should tell the people that you are sponsored by Snipe as well before we continue with this.
Hey, I know that was a big loss for me. That was a big loss. But it was kind of, you know, my first sponsorship, I have to say. It was exciting, and it's also like, you know, it's good people, and I was excited about it. It's fun. That's fun.
Don't you have a Card Ladder sponsorship? I thought.
We've been talking for months. I think he was waiting for the year to end. He actually officially emailed me today, and I got that news this morning that it's kind of official. So,
if you get a Card Ladder sponsorship, you'll be sponsored by PSA, and I won't be.
Fuck, not PSA. Card Ladder. I'll still be on here talking mad shit about this. I'm way more critical than us. I will always be more critical than either of y'all.
So you're going to be bought,
I don't like what they're
paid
doing.
for by Nat Turner.
Hell, I'm gonna still talk shit.
Prof will be bought and paid for.
It's not. It's not. They got to separate. It's not them. Stop it.
You're going to be putting your private sales in there, manipulating markets. I can see it right now.
My
You're going to
big
have the back
$30 sales.
Nat owns them. So
no, I know, but I've used them for 4 years. I use them on. They should be paying me shit. I use their stuff all the time on my screen. Anyways, I'm excited for both of those. I was not going to spoil the Card Ladder news today, but why not?
What was the exact question you wanted to know on this bid stuff?
It's really, I would be surprised if you can't see it. It's, you know, certain how many of his bids had less. How many of his auctions had less than maybe 10 bids?
I absolutely have that data.
Wow.
I just need to get it in the
worth the wait for me. I'm very curious.
Yeah. Well, while he's looking that up, Professor, you have anything else you wanted us to touch on here?
I did. Rhonda wanted to know because you're a little more out in the show world and out there, and I have my idea of what the 21 and under crowd are buying from when I go to Front Row Card Show. I went to the National. I get a little pulse, but I think you have more of a pulse on it, and maybe not. But Rhonda thought you might. So, what are the 21 and under crowd buying?
From what I see, it is football and Pokemon. They're like the kids, you know, especially like the 13, 14-year-old, like they love football. They pretty much exclusively buy football, and then Pokemon is kind of the other thing. It's shocking how it's pretty much that. You see, because it's also at these shows, the ones I go to, it's like 90% of the people there are flippers. So all those kids there are just moving and shaking, trying to do football. Occasionally, I'll get it's nice when I get a younger collector who comes up, who you can tell is just a Toronto Blue Jays fan or whatever. They might be looking at other sports, but yeah, I mean, if I had to put a percentage on it, like I don't do Pokemon, so I can't put Pokemon in there, but yeah, 90% of the kids under 21 who come up to me are looking for football. And then when I hear about other ones, they're looking for Pokemon.
That makes a lot of sense because I ran into a family at the National. I waited a half hour in line with them to say hi to Brian Gray. And the kid was about 15 and he had they liked the shiny stuff and he had a nice Justin Jefferson, but he was a Packer fan. So he had a Matthew Golden. It was cool. But yes, that makes sense. So they're going football of all things.
And it's weird too, because like I thought football was being like canceled by America because none of the parents were letting their kids play anymore. I thought it was like at one point people were saying, "Oh, football is
just so popular. The kids love to play it too."
Yeah, it's weird. I guess it's kind of like almost like the counterculture type of thing, like because they're trying to take it away and it's violent and it's different than them being stuck in their houses all day on Zoom. They really like it.
I do have one more. It looks like he's a madman right now doing the research. I love it. Theory I have is, and I already asked Neil, I've asked a lot of people. I just see it. We had a Topps paper release in basketball, and this time next year when the Topps, now I have heard Neil's not the only one. It depends the draft class, but I just see such Topps fatigue event. It's going to be top Bowman, this Bowman football, Bowman basketball, this Bowman product. That to me, it might get a little overdone or a burnout. Do you see any validity to what I'm saying or not really? It's just going to matter the draft class and people are just always wanting the now.
I don't think there'll be burnout because it's all Topps. Like, I mean, I think if all we got was Topps paper and Topps chrome, then of course there'd be burnout, but to a fault, there's going to be so many different products. We got like Diamond Icons, we have Dynasty, people are talking about them getting the Panini license. So who knows what happens with that, but they're going to have like 30 different variations. So if anything, we're going to be asking them like, hey, can we trim it down? So I don't think there'll be burnout because we're not getting enough different stuff. I think one thing, if anything, you got to give props to Topps for is they definitely are inventive. But the thing that I think we will get burnout from being in a monopoly, though. I think that's something that concerns me. If people are going to get tired of the EQL and the fact that they only can go through like one company and stuff like that. But in terms of just having it all made, I think we'll get more than enough variety of shiny different stuff.
I'm always in my own camp, always, and that's fine. I'm okay with it. But I think there'll be Topps burnout.
Maybe. Like I said, I don't think it'll.
Almost everyone I asked doesn't agree, but I'm always on that. Some of the viewers maybe, but all the people I've asked are they don't think so. They think it'll be just fine.
Yeah, I personally don't. I think it'll be fine. I think once again, because they're a monopoly, will people get sick of them? Maybe, but not because of like the designs and having the same type of product.
I'll just, it's not that I'll miss, but I think it was important to see the optic release this month or to see, and that's I was in the camp that Topps Fanatics does not need to buy Panini. I think there's so many investors, so many people outside of the card world that see, this infrastructure, this car, and it doesn't. Someone say, okay, well they don't have the licenses, so print TCG, print something else. Panini is so valuable to someone that wants to just get in and go because they see all this. However, on the other side, sure, Fanatics could buy. It would be smart depending the price because then all of a sudden now we do get Prism and now we do get Optic and now we do get some of these other staple sets. Neo, did you ever find the number?
I have some stuff for you, but while we're on this topic, did you guys see the news today? Because the Panini Fanatics thing is Panini Fanatics thing is most likely definitely not happening.
I didn't think it would, and that was coming from Geo. Geo had pretty good knowledge and was screaming from the rooftops it wasn't going to happen. What did you hear, Neo, or what's the news?
There was a big article on The Athletic today about the antitrust case that had a ton of new information in it. I mean, Panini was 1,000% definitely for sale. That part was 1,000,000% real. Just that the Topps buying them is not. I mean, Ruben was quoted in the article emphatically saying that is never going to happen, and there was a Panini lawyer emphatically quoted in that article saying that is never going to happen. They hate each other.
Shout out to The Athletic. The Athletic is one of the, I don't pay for it and I probably should. It's the only one I find myself clicking on and finding it to be a good story, and I want to read more. I think The Athletic's great. I like The Athletic a lot.
Dan, Vintage PC, these are numbers from GemRate. He has abilities to get back-end eBay data on his
own. All right, so we're all waiting. What is the numbers?
So what I have right now is the average. So there was 8,290 auctions. The average number of bids per item was just under 15.
Okay, so that means that's kind of so that means there was plenty at 3 or 30, and there was plenty at 10 or 5, which is interesting. 15, I would have guessed more. I would have guessed that to be a little. I think because when I look, I see on a good card maybe 30 bids. Does that sound right, or is that too high? 15 sounds right. It just means there's some that have low.
I think a lot of it depends on the price point too. I think I don't have it in front of me, but I think the average price sold was in the mid 200s, like $232 or something.
Damn, GemRate goes hard.
Hey man, when he gives you the numbers, he gave me a huge spreadsheet. I can play with it any way that I want.
Yeah, I think I'm good on Probstein. I don't see myself using them anytime.
I guess I was just surprised on the first run through because I was the same way of you when I went in. I was like, oh,
can you believe that shit? This is just all of a sudden he's back on eBay. Nothing happened. No problem. He's probably screwed up. People feel screwed over.
It just shows.
Crazy.
I think Neo has made this point before too. Like we get so in our own little bubble here. Like we think that this is the hobby, and like 99% of the hobby doesn't interact with hobby YouTube at all, and they've never even heard of this Probstein thing. So I'm sure the business will be just fine. It's just, but it's crazy how that works.
Let's go. I'm going to take some advice from you guys, and I'll brag a little. But I bought this at 190, and it's at 1,400. I have 2 of them, and I'm tempted. I don't really. It's the first wave, you know. I mean, it's the second print run that you heard me explain before. The cards inside are exactly the same. Do I sell one and keep the other? Do I keep them both? Do I take my winnings and sell them both? What, Troy, I'll go you. And then just honest on it. I don't know what to do. I'm not sure what I want to do.
You bought this in December of last year?
Even before. I've probably been sitting on this a year and a half.
Good for you. I'm going to ask you what to buy next. How many boxes do you have?
I bought 2.
Oh, I think... Yeah, if it was me, it's hard to say. I think I would sell. You sell one, you lock in, even with the 2 boxes, you lock in probably over $1,000 in profit, and then you just put the other one away and forget about it. I mean, I think that's, unless you have a really good use for the money, it could really make a big difference. Maybe you sell both, but if I was in your shoes, I would sell one and then
you wouldn't hold 2. You would say, don't take the money.
Probably not. Probably just because the way I am, I'm pretty risk averse. And if I held both and then, it's possible they go back down, I would feel really stupid. But if I sold one and I can just forget about it and I know no matter what, I'll be good, then that gives me even more confidence to, let's say it goes to $2,000. I was like, okay, well, I already made my profit regardless. Let's just keep riding it out. That's what I would do. But
I just look at some of those first Pokemon boxes and stuff, and it's just wow. But it takes years, decades. But
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That the upside is hypothetically huge, but also the downside is pretty big as well. So that's something. Once again, I'm not going to pretend to have a crystal ball here. Like I don't know, but that's what I would do if I was.
think the logical person would say sell one, keep one. Neo, what's your advice?
So I do a lot of stash and hold on TCG products, like a lot.
Boxes?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have there's a whole wall behind me and there's a whole shelf over
what
there.
What TCG? Pokemon or several different? Okay.
Pokemon.
Okay.
A little bit of Magic. I have a big stack of Magic collector boxes sitting back there. So
I like you a little bit more, Neo. I love that. Okay.
If it was, we've talked Magic before.
I did not realize you had some of this other stuff going.
I just bought an Arabian Nights Jazan Djinn that's coming from.
Hey now, okay.
PSA 5.
I have no clue.
I would, because One Piece is a little unproven. It doesn't have the track record that the Charizards do.
Yeah, it's 2 years old. I mean, it's
I see a
new.
graph spike like this, it's probably time to move one of them.
Damn, you sound like me. All right, that is true. When you see a graph
I
like
mean, how many
that.
times have you talked about the cards on this? And when you see
No,
the
you're
blue
right.
line go way up like that,
You're right.
And now, if it, like I said, if it was Pokemon where it has a 30-year history or a 20-year history, whatever it is, if it was Magic that has this,
Oh,
huge
okay.
history,
The reason I bought this is because Netflix did a live action.
yeah, they have their live
one,
action thing,
and they did
there's
really
the
well. So I
thing, there's-
researched, and they're coming more. They're not. They're making a new anime that should be more friendly. Like I think they're going to keep pushing this IP. It's. I think it's second right now behind Poke. It's definitely. I even learned how to play the damn game. Do I still play? No, but I see what you're saying. It's brand new. It's a baby. We don't know.
So, I mean, TCGs from a Magic perspective. We've had Pokemon, we've had Magic. How many TCGs and a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh, maybe? How many TCGs since Magic and Pokemon come out have come and gone? Like, what's the track record on that?
All right, let's throw this one. It's crazy if you think this box. Recently, the all-time high, it was the person that won the first tournament back in 2023, a gold. It sold for $300,000. I found that insane, but that's supposed to be the creme de la creme, the big card. Insane it sold for that price.
Yeah, that's insane. Because of the lack of track record, I would sell one, keep one.
Yeah,
I am definitely in favor
right.
of rolling the dice on one. I guess my other question would be, so if you sell it, you're going to make, let's just call it $1,000 after selling fees or whatever hoops you have to jump through. What's your plan?
Smart.
Like,
See, that's my okay. So
are
I'm
you
not
just
someone.
selling it
It's
and
gonna
then you're
flip.
just gonna
It's
sit
flip.
on the
I'm gonna.
cash?
I mean,
Or
no,
are
it's
you
gonna
gonna
go
put
into
it
my
into something
savings
else?
for a house. It's gonna
You
go
can buy
into a
like
stock
MetaZoo or
market.
something else.
I'm not good at. I'm better at holding.
So, like, because the reason why I asked that is I've been selling off Pokemon sealed, some of it. Like I sold off maybe like 5 or 10% of it, but my goal is I'm cashing out now to start building a stockpile to buy an Amazing Fantasy 15, which is the first appearance of Spider-Man, and it's basically it's the 52 mantle of comic books. So like I have
That's
a plan.
awesome.
There's a reason why I'm selling. Like I have a
Yeah,
plan.
no, the plan was to let that sit for these boxes to sit forever, but I didn't expect it to take this huge jump. When I saw it at 400, I was like, oh, okay, maybe I sell one, keep the other. And now all of a sudden, 6 or 4 months later, it's made this crazy jump. The money would just
I think
sit.
it's great.
That's really the money would kind of sit.
I think you had the right mindset going in, but I do think that we all have to be when it comes to collectibles when you're buying stuff. And you're like, my plan is I'm going to hold this for 10 years. It's going to be great. Well, shit changes. You didn't expect I bet you when you bought this box for $200 in 10 years, you thought I'm going to be able to sell this for $1,200.
Sure, a couple grand. Yeah.
Okay, so now here we sit 2 years later and you're at the number. But you did the smart thing though. You bought multiple, so you have options. You're like, why not sell one? The only reason why I wouldn't is, and the other question I would ask is, how are you going to feel tomorrow if it went back to $200? Are you going to hate
like
yourself?
an idiot? Yeah, but I also believe in it long term. As you said, it's not proven. But I didn't buy it because I didn't think there was a future. I do think I didn't expect to go this crazy, but I do think One Piece is capturing some of the kids, some of the market. A lot of those kids in my class, they're anime people. They know what, got One Piece t-shirts, so One Piece is growing. I just, at this rate, is crazy.
I think it also that you have two though, so you get to reap the rewards and continue to play the game.
Yeah.
Because I did the same thing with Pokemon. I've been buying Pokemon sealed for the last 4 to 5 years, sitting on it, and my expectation was I'm going to keep this.
And then it went kind of crazy. Then some of it went really high.
I'm going to cash out and it's going to be great. And all of a sudden my timeline got accelerated because the market went crazy. So I think whenever stuff like that happens, you at least have to sit back and reevaluate the situation and be like, okay, my plan is already here. Now what do I do?
Troy, did you have something you wanted to say on that?
Well, I was just going to say that I understand, once again, I made this point at the beginning, like sports cards aren't the stock market. Like in general, most of my investments are the stock market, but I look at it a little bit like that. So it depends on what you have in the rest of your quote unquote portfolio. We don't have to dig into all your numbers, but just hypothetically, let's say the total worth of all your collectibles is $5,000 and 3,000 of it is currently concentrated in one piece. I'd be like, you know what? that's a little too high for me. I would rather have, like, how I look at my stuff is just hypothetically, once again, if I have $5,000 worth of collectibles, I want to have $4,000 in Kobe and Curry and, you know, Brady, the GOATs or whatever. And then the other 1,000, I can mess around with One Piece, or in soccer, I like Lamine Yamal or some of these prospects or whatever. Oh, wow, you even have more.
I enjoy the art. I mean, I do like the art, where Pokemon, I don't. I know some people love the art. I'm not big on Pokemon art. I even have like 20 of the books. It's the longest
so you're
running
really
manga.
into it. Like, you like
I
the
like
stuff.
it. I do like it.
The
Oh, hey
PSA
now.
promo.
Okay. Okay.
Wow, both you guys. I'm
PSA
missing out
magazine.
here.
I had no idea Neo was, I know Cards and Comics. I should have known. I didn't realize.
Yeah, here you go. Look, there you go, Prof.
Wow.
Oh,
See,
man.
Neo's-
Okay. Oh, that's the stuff I
Neo
like
is
right
sneaky.
there.
He's like
I
a
grew
sniper.
up on that.
He's just making these moves in the background, and we have no idea.
Yeah,
Just
this is the
silently.
same. That's the alpha beta, man.
I graded
You like
this at the
Arabian
National.
Nights.
Wow.
No, that's awesome. That's
Should have
a
9.
lot of value there, in my opinion.
Interesting.
Did either
Yeah,
of you see this story? Because this happened in the beginning of the year, and I had no idea. And I have a feeling a lot of sports cards people never heard it. But the creator of Pokemon, he made fake cards, promo cards, back from like '96.
Yeah, and
$30
CGC
million.
graded them all.
This was a
That's
story. That's
Yeah,
insane.
I did content on this.
Yeah, I know. I did not hear that one. That is just
was a
insane.
huge deal
Right
because
now, I'm talking
CGC
to this guy Marco, who he's out. I mean, he's so bitter and upset, and just it ruins his whole. I think it's when you get scammed like that. I mean, he lost over $100,000 in this thing, and it just fuck, man. He's really bitter about it.
Oh, CGC's not covering that.
Yeah,
Not
that's
the
crazy
money.
part of that is that CGC.
Wow.
CGC
If only there
graded
was another grading company that covered these things. That would be one you might want to trust. That's tough.
Tag?
No, actually, well, I don't know how they're doing
it's a
this.
joke.
CGC
People
does
aren't
have a
gonna
grade
like that.
guarantee on cards.
No, they're definitely not. None of
I'm
these
sorry, I
people are
missed
getting
that,
their money
Neo.
back.
You said they do?
CGC has a grade guarantee on cards.
They for, at least
why
for
aren't they
Marco,
paying
he's
out
not
for
getting
this?
shit. CGC
I just don't
came
have a
out one
grade.
guy-
I mean, maybe there's something with this that they're not, but they do have a grade guarantee listed on their website for cards.
I always heard, and I'm not super knowledgeable
They
on this. but
don't
what
for comics, which is hilarious.
What I always heard was PSA is the only one that actually has that full like.
That was the, I mean,
guarantee.
you can go to. I mean, Prof can pull up CGC's website right now.
I
and look
believe
at
you. I
it's
just know
over
from
there.
Marco how bitter he is. He ain't getting that money back from CGC.
Beckett does not. SGC does not. PSA does, and CGC does on cards, but CGC does not have one on comics because that came up big time because they got caught up in a pretty big comic book scandal. Well, 2 scandals.
You could inform us better on this. I feel like, from what I understand, grading comics didn't. It had a moment, and then it didn't catch on the same way it did in sports cards, where it just is. I understand for the high end stuff, but is
It's
that true? It's
pretty
not
popular
as popular.
now.
Okay.
I mean,
There
it's
is a
not,
market.
comics
for it.
is way smaller than cards in general, like way smaller.
And some of
but
those
it
guys
is-
want to
it is-
read it. They just collect them. They read the same one every month, or at least
A
from
lot of
what I
people
got
will-
hanging out at a comic shop.
A lot of people on high end books, they will. Well, one, now you could just read everything on a tablet. Like if you just want to read, like you could just get a Marvel Unlimited subscription for $10 a month and read every comic book that they've ever made. So it's really
Some
not
of
that
it's that
difficult to
collection,
read.
like sports, though. Some guys,
Yeah.
he has them saving 8 comics for him because he comes in every so often to.
For sure,
there is,
But, like-
that true base. I don't know if they want the graded stuff, like where the
Yeah,
true
like I
base
have
here
a-
we do.
I have a
I
Hulk
saw that.
180, a Hulk 181 over my shoulder. That's the first appearance of Wolverine. That's like a few $1,000. Some folks they'll buy a shitty beat up copy of it for super cheap, and they'll treat that as what they call a reader copy. So like they could still have that
Yep.
tactile feel of I want to sit down in a chair and flip through a comic book and read it. So a lot of people will do that. They'll spend a little bit of money and buy a really busted up copy to keep for that, and then have like a nice copy on display in a CGC slab.
I'm going to push back on something in the comments really quickly. I see a bunch, and to be clear,
I'm
here, I was
not
making a-
following the comments.
I'm going to say something. To be clear, I'm not like, I was making a quick joke. I'm not here to like be PSA's #1 fanboy, but they're saying, oh, if you're the submitter, you don't get the money back. But that's a different thing. If you're submitting your own card, like that PSA didn't make any kind of mistake there. Why would you get money back? It's more so if I buy something, I'm trusting that PSA is successfully authenticating in that, then of course you get the money. That's where it should apply. Why would it make any sense if I submit something that's fake, that's my card? Why would PSA give me any money? That just doesn't make any sense. So that's
and I think that's a big part of the reason behind it is that if they did cover the submitter, someone could just sit there and try to scam them left, right, and center.
Yeah, that doesn't like. Yeah,
I know people make a big issue on that, but I could see it. I'm not saying 100% agree with it, but I could see why PSA would say we're not covering the submitter.
Yeah, of course, and also the fact of like if I bought a card that was fake and
it's not a perfect system. No, it's not a I mean, I understand your side. Of course, you can. They're gonna. People are gonna send in.
I'm going a little Geo here, but the people in the comments acting like, oh, that doesn't count. No, it's what are you talking about? It doesn't make any sense.
People talk shit. Yeah, people talk shit.
Sorry,
I mean, it's way better than what we have from Beckett, which is nothing.
Exactly.
And,
we did an hour here. Trike, did you have anything I kind of led? Do you have anything that you wanted to throw? I mean, we did an hour, so we're closing up here. But is there anything you wanted to throw out or?
No, not really. I was just waiting. Like I said, I was waiting for you to yell at me how you yelled at Geo, but we didn't get to that. So it's
fucking arena club stuff. You'll learn. You're young. You'll learn.
Me and you, we're one and the same, buddy. Both taking sponsors.
Hey, now
I don't even have merch. So there you go. You know,
got some merch.
You're part of the. You're part of the.
Troy has one or not, but I mean, come first of the year, there's only going to be one person on this stream right now that is bought by Nat Turner.
Fucking A, stop that. Hey, both of you guys, though, what I respect is that you both love cards. And there's just some people in here that, people in this, I find it genuine. I find both of you guys you both love cards. And that's important.
I think Collector
It's Card Ladder, by the way, damn it. It's Card Ladder. Independent.
Owned and operated by Collectors Universe. I think Collector Charles doesn't believe that I'm not sponsored by PSA. If you want me to show you my 1099s at the end of the year, I'm more than happy to.
He's just sponsored by Collectors. That's why. He's quiet.
I didn't hear what you said.
Collectors? I know you're saying no PSA, but maybe
I'm
you're
not sponsored by Collectors.
Okay.
You're sponsored by Collectors.
Yeah, you're sponsored by Collectors.
Nat Turner is the one who's signing that check, so we don't want to hear it from you over there.
I think I'll go from Card Ladder, but I do like Card Ladder. So
and Collectors Universe owns Power Packs, so technically you're sponsored by a repacker.
And I'll talk shit all day. I'm not gonna hold back. Don't you worry.
When can I put the Hey Now promo code in over at GameStop to get 10% off my first?
I love it.
Do you know what I bet they'll do too? Because you're sponsored by Collectors, and obviously Jeff Wilson is also tight with Collectors. You guys will probably do like a little dinner out there in Atlanta or something. All you PSA people are gonna be together.
Wouldn't that be? We need cameras on that one.
I would actually really love to see that. I bet you know what? I'm putting it out there. I think it'll happen. Professor versus Jeff Wilson debate. I think.
Oh, hey, put it in the books. When do you run it?
It's gonna happen.
Make it happen, Trike. You got some sway over there.
But I guess my thing, I want to see you come with the fire, though. I think you, because you're actually a nice guy. So when you get in front of people, sometimes they're like, I don't want to be a dick, but I want you to like.
I try to balance. You're right. You read me very well.
You don't have to be a dick, but I want you to like really just, I don't know, have a healthy debate. Same thing. I always say the same thing for me.
Gets turned on when he's on the mic sometimes.
That'd be a big day, Trike. Let's make it happen. Gentlemen, thank you for calling in. It was great.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to like walk all over Troy's segment by calling in, but
I don't think Troy minded. I think it was great.
No, it was good having you here, man. That was fun. And you brought research, you brought everything. You were
good research.
So that was good.
I love the research and Magic the Gathering cards. Gentlemen, have a great night.
Yep. See you, man. Thank you.
Bye. And now, all right. That was awesome. Tomorrow we start with Scotty B. We'll lead into AIH. I'll have more stories, more stuff. Anything I didn't get to, I want to end with real quick. Let's just share the stage. Really fun show. Thank you to both you guys for calling in. I didn't see Neo coming, so that was really fun. I'm going to play some more of this Cyberpunk. I think we got to it all. Did we do everything? Griffey, Jordan. CoffeeZilla, his Voidzilla channel. This is a great video. This new Cheddar. They want you to sign up with your credit card, and then you buy a pair of shoes or a bottle of milk, a jug of milk, and then it's double or nothing. Come play. You could play blackjack. You could play the slots. It's all gambling stuff. So they want you to pay with your credit card in debt, and then you get to gamble to try to win your money back on necessities. I know ending here, but this was.
We also have Cheddar, the TikTok of sports wagering.
Is Cheddar. We're building the TikTok of
Cheddar's the different one. This is different. Okay.
sports wagering. Legal in 20 more states than DraftKings. Accessible for 18 to 21-year-olds.
I don't know if you're noticing the pattern here. It's just innovating on gambling.
His whole thing that is big tech is betting on gambling and scams, and that's kind of what we're seeing with sports cards. This one, the one I was talking about, he did on is called Covered. Let's just look at Covered real quick because oh my god, it's
in hyper gamification products in order to squeeze every last dime out of you. Introducing, ladies and gentlemen, Covered, which was invested in by A16Z's Speedrun, and they say we disrupt personal finance through gamification, starting by letting people bet against their bills. Guys, you can now gamble on your credit card balance. If you're lucky.
So it's bigger than just sports cards is doing it. There's big tech in there, or they look at them themselves as big tech, and they're doing the same thing. They all want to go international, and as he's putting, and he doesn't mention sports cards, the big tech is having this huge push towards gambling, unfortunately, and we all see it.
Enough, and you win. You may get out of debt. If not, they're going to drive you further into it.
Welcome to Covered, where everyday finances become fun and rewarding.
Bullshit.
First, link your card through Plaid. Next, pick a transaction in game for a chance to win it back. It's a fun.
So again, the big point he makes, and I think is disgusting, is you have to sign up with a credit card that's what, 30% interest, and then you're going to gamble to see if you can win it back. And guess what? If you don't, you're further in debt on that 30% interest.
Way to make money management feel more like a game and less like a chore.
I cannot even start to explain how gross and disgusting this is. This user puts it best and was retweeted by the official Covered account. A16C backed Covered lets users get up to 100% cash back on credit card purchases by offering fun and interactive games of chance. I downloaded the app. It's just gambling. And the worst part is you can't even use the old, don't invest what you can't afford to lose or whatever the gamble people say, because you're literally investing money you can't afford to lose because by definition, you're already in debt if you're using their app, if you're gambling money on bills that you.
All right, so he's 100% right. It's disgusting. We see the same big tech thing going with sports cards. Go watch it, Voidzilla. Big tech is betting on gambling. And that's, I'll vent a little bit here, just complain for a second. You know, most popular video was, I made this over a year ago. I had 3,000 subscribers, not big. It got 13,000 views. It hit the algorithm. It hit a YouTube thing. The thumbnail's a little better, I got to say. But if you go to the latest, I did this great video. It's 30 minutes straight. All these robberies happen in 2025. And it hit my subscribers. My video I don't have the algorithm right now, which is a bit frustrating. But that, so be it. It's ups and downs. It's a marathon on here. The lives are going great. I'm enjoying the lives a bunch. Thank you guys for being here. I thought tonight was great. Scotty B and I will go back and forth. I have a 30-minute interview coming out with Scotty B where we dove in basketball and baseball. He's baseball and basketball. I have knowledge in baseball. He's modern. I'm more vintage. So it was a really good conversation from both sides, but he'll be here tomorrow. We'll get AIH. Thank you guys for being here. We did 2 hours, 6 minutes. It was a great show. It was a lot of fun. Flew by. Reef, Stu. I like seeing the new piece. Stuke 1976. Who's this? Jeremy Waymouth Senior 2010. We got the Bob Boozle. Lucky us. Fresh Prince. As always, Vintage Vince's was here all show. Kenny F. and Powers. We have 2 more voicemails. We'll save them for tomorrow. We only have 2. One is from someone I met at the National. He's also a dealer. He's Asian. He has this even at the National, I understood 4 out of 5 words. He talks about Mojo Sports, by the way. He has some insight, so stay tuned. A little teaser. He set up shop next to, maybe I shouldn't have said he was, a little profile. He wanted, anyway, sorry about that. This is what is. But he set up shop at a card show and next to Mojo, and he has some shit to say in his voicemail. It's very entertaining and knowledgeable. So we'll do that tomorrow. Call into the voicemail. Let's get a couple more than just 2. Maybe we can get 2 more. Where's that number? Right here, 702-483-7344. Become a member. It's $5. Help support the channel. I think we have 28 members right now. Why not keep it moving? Buy some merch. I got sponsored. Can you believe that? Thank you, CIA. And Card Ladder is not official till January 1st, but it's official. So, Card Ladder, CIA, we're moving up in the world, folks. Thank you for being here. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, same time, same bat place, 5 o'clock.